All right, we are live here trackside, ladies and gentlemen. And we are off and rolling. Amen. Number 2 here at the 2025 IFMAR Two-Wheel Drive World Championships presented by Team Coyote.
Brock Champlin, champion of the world.
Yes, thank you.
Mark trying to bring it home now. Inside line. Mark will take the win and the overall.
The wife, my family, and I have some glasses there.
There we are. Good evening, folks. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you happen to be in the world. Thanks for joining us here. Welcome to the 3rd annual season recap for the Australian RC industry and, of course, our Viewers' Choice Awards, brought to you by the collective teams of Mitch on the Mic, RC Race Media and Action RC. Something we look forward to every year. Last year, this went for over 4 hours. Today, my commitment to you is it will not go that long. Boys, how are we tonight? Mitch, welcome, mate. Newest national champion in the chat. How's it going?
Yes, short course. It's obviously the premier class, undeniable. Should be a world championships for it. It's been a long road getting here to take my second title. I'm very happy to be crowned the second time national champion for truck.
We'll see how many times you say that across the course of the night. I'm sure we can. We'll dig into that a bit. Matthew Seckold, RC Race Media guy number 1. How you doing?
Not too bad, thanks, Scott. Not too bad.
What's the story with your club, Matt? Where are we up to with Sydney RC? You guys have been closed for a bit over a year. Did I hear some movement?
It's technically not my club anymore. I am out and off the committee, but I can speak probably on behalf of the committee crew. And he's just popped up there now. My brother, Peter, is now El Presidente of Sydney RC. Last I heard, they're going ahead with the master plan as intended. It's just a bit delayed, obviously, because, council. Anything dealing with council gets delayed. But yeah, there has been some positive updates. I actually just got a bit of an update today about some of the facilities, getting some info office for the new facilities. So basically, it looks like we're not getting back to that track as it is again.
Okay.
The master plan will go ahead as intended, and we'll get moved to the new area slightly down the towards the entrance of the park. So
for all the Australian off-road guys out there, stay tuned, I guess, for more news from Sydney RC.
Yep. And also just quickly, Mitch, I think you and Peter should have a bit of a short course duel to see who's the supreme short course driver. Two back to back.
Don't start this already in the night.
Oh, no. Pete's already started in the chat. He's
showing us sports ball.
I almost beat him in his home track, so anywhere else he's got absolutely no chance. So
no chance.
Tony Firth, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
I am fantastic. It's been a pretty amazing year. I have a lot of pinch me moments. My home club, PDNR, have just wrapped up the year with the presentation last night. So I am signed off RC after this show tonight until 6th of January or something. A whole 2 weeks off RC.
All right, I'm coming back to each of the three of you for your one moment of the year in a second. But before we do that, just want to let everybody know what we're up to tonight. Of course, we are thinking our way back through 2025, all the highlights from across the RC racing scene here in Australia and involving Australians. We're going to be joined by some very special guests to help us do that. Ari Barkla and Peter Cooper will join us to talk 10th Off-Road, and Peter particularly with a view to talking about the Worlds, one of the two World Championships hosted here in Australia this year. Chris Mitchell will jump in. The well-known voice of Chris Mitchell will jump in and talk to us around electric on-road. Then we'll hear from Anthony Wasson. Anthony will jump in and we'll talk a little bit about 10th and 8th IC and GT on-road. Then the esteemed character, perhaps one of the biggest characters across the world of RC, certainly in Australia, Joel Power. He'll be on the show a little bit later as we dig into a little bit of 8th Off-Road. And then we'll wrap the night with Scotty Ernst helping us think internationally what's been happening beyond our shores. So that's where we're kind of heading through the night. Before we get to any of that, and I'm coming back to the boys in a second for their personal highlights of the year, just want to say what we say at the start of this show every year, which is a huge thank you and a huge kudos and congratulations. The clubs, the volunteers, the leaders, the track builders, the people in the industry here in Australia for all that you have done to put on an incredible year of racing. From the very highest of highs to the everyday club events that we all enjoy every time we can get there. So from the four of us, this is the way we start the show every year, which is a huge shout out to anyone who's dug or carried or counted or cooked or sold or promoted or organised or marshalled or volunteered in any way. Like a huge congrats and thank you from us to you. And then we secondly do like to just take the moment to say thank you to everyone who's shared their stories with us, whether that's been a microphone in your face at the end of a race somewhere across the country, on camera, off camera, in writing, whatever it is, chatting with us. We can't tell the stories we tell without you sharing your stories with us. So there are our two thank yous as we start the night. Boys, I'm going to come back to you for a quick personal highlight, and then we're going to get Ari in and get on with the show because I'm determined to keep us on time. So Mitch, let me come back to you. Mitch on the mic. You've been all over the country this year, driving the microphone as well as your short course truck. There you go. Stitch Up Central tonight. I think we've got. Mitch, give us. I know it's unfair, but give me one personal highlight from the year.
Just being part of the media crew for the Worlds, having the opportunity to have a Worlds in Australia, I think that's a once in a lifetime thing. It's a once in a lifetime thing for a driver, but to be part of the team that sort of shows off what we have here in Australia, I think that is literally a once in a lifetime thing. So I was super proud to be a part of that, and yeah, incredible time.
It was good, and we'll dig into that Worlds event for sure. Matt, how about for you? Is there a kind of a moment or two that stands out for you across the year? You've been everywhere as well.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. I feel like we're going to get three of almost the same answer here because how often do you get to cover World Championships in your own backyard? I mean, it was just like a culmination of perfect storm of everything just lining up for us here, and we probably won't do something to that sort of scale ever again. We could do other big events, maybe even another 10 scale Worlds at some point, but having it 15 minutes down the road from my house where you can just kind of dream big and go a bit nuts with it, it's just not going to happen again. So for me, it's just getting the whole thing together and off the ground, but also pointing the camera at the world's best for that event is nothing will beat that for me.
Yeah, capturing the moments. Yeah, for sure. There he is. Look at him.
tried to
Whose
take
car
it
is that?
home.
Is that whose car is that? Is that Kato's car?
Yeah, that was
That's
Koki
Kato's
Cardo's
car.
car at
Yeah.
the presentation, and they had it rigged up with the radio with the gyro in it. So you didn't steer with the wheel; you just leant the radio from left to right, and the steering was proportional, so you could drive it
Amazing.
one-handed.
We're playing with it a
Amazing.
bit at the banquet.
I knew I should have come to that banquet. Tony, how about for you? What's without giving exactly the same answer, is there a moment? Is there a moment within a moment? What's a highlight from the year?
No, I don't think I can get a different answer. I think it is. It's the worlds that we've been working towards for so long to then get there and and deliver it and pull it off and have the team come together. And it was that long-term project working with yourself and Mitch over so many events. The connection and relationship that we'd got over the last couple of years is what came together, I think, and made the world's coverage and broadcast what it was. But just the event, just to be part of it. The Hills Club, what they delivered, it was just really amazing to be part of that event.
Yeah, for sure. For me, look, because I'm hosting the show, I'm gonna cheat and give you two. One is that from the worlds, the where were we when this happened? This was in Manila, wasn't it? The
Manila.
driver's introduction for four-wheel drive will stay with me for a long time as a moment within a moment within that event. That the crowd was buzzing, the high fives, the drivers were a bit unsure what we were doing, but then really warmed up. That was phenomenal. But actually, the other one was that I found myself out at Queensland Raceway helping a mate with a production car he was running, and on my way back from that, I stumbled across the Australian quarter scale oval national championships, which I had no idea was on, that one of my highlights from the year was spending the evening at the quarter scale nationals watching the finals there. I got in a queue to drive a sprint car, and the guy before me in the queue broke it, and so I didn't get to do any laps. So I was so close to a personal highlight of driving a quarter scale sprint car, but I'll have to try and get back out there some other time next year. Folks, wherever you're watching from, we want to invite you to be a part of the show tonight. So you've already seen some comments popping up. Mitch is in charge of that, so Mitch is keeping an eye on the comments, and he'll pop comments through and he'll interrupt me because I'm not looking at the screen all that much. And if there's questions, comments, funny stories, whatever you want to put in the chat. So if you want to jump in there and tell us who's watching where you're from, do that now. But then as we go through the night, we absolutely want to encourage you to be a part of what's happening here. We do need to, thank you, Lou. I'm not sure which one of us is which, but there you go. We do need to let you know that Mitch has to go early because his boss is a very hard man and is forcing him to be at work at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. So we'll have to farewell Mitch a little bit later on, unless we get a text, Dom, saying he can start late tomorrow, if you happen to be watching. All right, that's enough of that. That's our introduction. So that's where we're going. We're going to start with 10 Scale Off-Road, and we're going to welcome our first special guest into the studio. I think he's here somewhere, so we'll bring him on the screen. And here he is, Mr. Ari Bakala. Ari, welcome to the 2025 season recap. How are you doing?
Thank you, gents. I'm doing very well. I hope you guys are too.
We're all right, mate. It's been a big year, and we're going to talk about all things 10 Scale Off-Road with you, and we're going to get your reflections on a whole bunch of stuff. But before we get into the broader question of 10 Scale Off-Road, tell me about 2025 for you personally. What's your racing? I mean, it's pretty much been all around the world, right? Is that how it's been for you?
Yeah. I think the last 18 months has been all about that one weekend. It was pretty much all 10 scale. I did a couple of 8 scale races. No on road, focused solely on off road.
Yeah.
Which, on a right or wrong, I don't know. We did what we did. It was good. It's been a great year. Always is, mate. When you're racing RC cars, it's always good.
When was the last time you would have spent a whole season focused pretty much on one category? That's been a while, right? It's been a long time.
Yeah, look, never. I don't think I ever have. When I guess sort of early 2000s, where sort of off-road died off a little bit and on-road sort of took over in terms of the competition side of things.
Yeah.
Not that I focused on that, but that's, we traveled where the competition was. So yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Well, a little bit later, we'll get Peter Cooper in to join us, and we'll talk about the organisational side of the worlds. But
good luck with that.
Yeah. No, he's here. He's in the studio. We'll bring him in a little bit, mate. Just so reflect for me on the year, and maybe it is, let's start with the Worlds, and from a competitor point of view, from your own involvement, from your own preparation, and thinking about maybe what some of the Australian guys did or didn't do over that week. But just give me some reflections on the World Championships as we see your 8-scale X-ray machine there on screen. But so reflect for me on the Worlds.
Look, obviously it's a once in a lifetime for most of us to have a home Worlds in your own country, let alone, I'll say my home club. I've been racing for 36 years and never had that even remotely.
Oh, hang on a minute. What's going on there? What's going on the screen there, Ari?
That's my canoe.
Sorry, keep going. Yeah.
I've been racing for 36 years, and I missed out on the 89 Worlds at St Ives. I started racing 2 weeks after that race meeting, and never ever thought I'd have that sort of opportunity so close to home. So that alone was something special for me, and I'm sure anybody, even if Hills isn't their home track, it's still in your home country, and it holds a special place. In terms of preparation, I think probably we prepared too much. We left no stone unturned. When I say I was at the track probably twice a week, it's not an exaggeration. And we did so much testing where we were testing the same thing over and over and over again just to make sure. So we probably went a little bit too far there, and I'm going to say we were too confident once the actual World started, if that's even possible.
Too confident in the sense of the preparation that you'd done, and you had a path that you wanted to follow.
I knew exactly what I was going to do at 9 a.m. in the morning, and the next run, and the run after that, and the run after that, and none of that went to plan for Tour Drive.
I think it was Spencer Rivkin who talked to us in an interview at the Worlds about his ego, feeling like his ego got in the way, and he was, which is maybe that same sense. He was too confident in what he wanted to do, and then wasn't kind of brave enough to step away from that.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Four-wheel drive obviously was very different from an X-ray perspective. Was that, did that kind of shift come with learning those lessons about, letting go of what you were holding on to, or was it?
I think so, a little bit, yes. But I still felt like I was on the back foot a little bit. We didn't try enough in two-wheel drive. We didn't search enough. And whilst, we did obviously try other things in four-wheel drive, and it was a better result for the whole team in a sense. But even the factory guys that came, they'd, a couple of them had been once, twice. And even they said the same thing. We didn't chase enough initially. So well, that's racing.
It is. So we've talked a little bit there about Team X-Ray, but talk to me a bit about Team Australia. There were obviously some high hopes, and Team Australia was a big team, right? Like half the field pretty much was Australian. There were some high hopes. There was maybe a little disappointment in a few corners, but also there were people doing the best they'd ever done at a World Championship in terms of Australian drivers. That's how I read it.
Yeah, I agree. And look, unfortunately, this comes with whether it's in your hometown or you're traveling overseas. You need to sort of take it as it is and take in the moment more than anything. If you're able to do that, you sort of one, have a lot more fun. And two, you end up picking up so much. You learn so much more when you go with an open mind. Whenever I travel overseas to race, it's always with zero expectation. Sure, I might have a little bit of a goal, but I treat it as a holiday. I have fun, and then the result is the result, and we take whatever we can from that event in that aspect.
You unfortunately got to watch the finals from trackside rather than being in the middle of them.
No, I think that was a good thing.
Is any observations about the two wins, Marcus and Brock, and their wins, without doing a whole kind of big breakdown?
very, very difficult, I think, as the world should be, right? But I think being outdoors, the sun, the wind, the light, the shadows, the moisture in the morning, all of that makes it so much more entertaining, I think. So yes, whilst of course anybody would like their chance to be in the top 10, it was a spectacle from the sideline. So like you said, the four-wheel drive intros and stuff, that gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Every time I think about it, I just think, oh, that was unreal. The other thing I was thinking about, folks, if you're just joining us, we're chatting with Ari Buckler. We're reflecting on the 10-scale off-road scene here in Australia over 2025. We're just talking about the Worlds at the moment. Jump in the chat wherever you're from and tell us your highlight, your 110-scale off-road highlight from this year. Was it something that happened at the Worlds, at another big event somewhere in Australia or elsewhere? Jump in and let us know. And if you've got a question for Ari, drop that in the chat as well. We'll see if we can, if you've got a sneaky question you want to kind of feed him, but we can do that as well. Ari, I was thinking about not only the Australian drivers who were ambitious for their own results, but there was a whole stack of Australians who just had the chance to do a World Championship event, probably for the first and only time ever. I'm thinking about someone like Stephen Hagensen, who, just an absolute character. Never saw him all week with a smile not on his face. People like that were just that are club racers and just were having a wonderful time. Did you get to catch up with and chat with some of the Aussies from that sense over the week?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of the guys are locals, right? And they race at Hills. Regardless of your age and your experience, it's like you say, a once in a lifetime opportunity for some of these guys.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool that there was enough room to have, some extras, so to speak, to be able to jump in and just experience it. It was one thing being trackside and watching for a lot of these people. My dad was the scrutineer and he loved it just to be there.
Yeah.
But for guys that actually still race and, I'll say competitively or for fun, just to be involved in that, it's a once in a lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Let's we'll come back to the Worlds when we've got Peter in and talk a little bit more about it, but let's think about some other bits and pieces from around the country. Are there a couple of races that this year in Australia are in the 10-scale scene that you were either at that you want to kind of share about, or that you were I'm thinking about the first ever nationals on AstroTurf, for example. That's a pretty significant moment in the sport in Australia.
Yes.
You're not that keen about that. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not all for that. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a positive, I guess. Overseas there is a lot of Astro in Europe and stuff like that. But personally, for me, I race on dirt.
Your team dirt.
I don't even like it when tracks are oiled a lot. A little bit of oil's okay. But it's something different. I'm not going to say it shouldn't be, but it was something different. So it was good to see. In terms of other 10-scale races, mate, I raced at Hills, and Hills only for 18 months.
Did you do the New South Wales champs? Was that at Orange? Was it New South Wales champs, or was that
was after? Yeah, so that was after the World. So I actually totally forgot about that race. Yeah, I won 2 classes, I think.
That's the one where the front end was falling off your car that we just saw a photo of 10 minutes ago.
That was actually a really difficult track because it's predominantly an 8-scale track. And they do race 1/10 on there. And it was great. It was something different. It was oiled. It had a lot of grip. But it was actually really, really challenging in the aspect where, because the cars are going so fast, because it's such a large track, it makes it quite difficult to put a clean lap and a clean 5 minutes in. There was at least one crash in every 5-minute run. So, and some bigger than others, as you saw.
There's actually quite a lot of AstroTurf on that track too, isn't there? Isn't it sort of like a 60-40 split dirt to turf? So
yeah, probably. And funnily enough, the Astro had less grip than the dirt did. I think the Astro had a little bit of I know, right? It shouldn't be like that. But the Astro, if you had sort of, you'd think you'd be able to run old tires, worn tires, and it's high grip oil. As soon as you hit the Astro, if you had worn tires, you couldn't get around. So it was very challenging and a really good race. It was good to sort of get a sanctioned race meeting to a country club that don't quote me on this, but 15 members maybe.
It's
not a large club. They're a very small club, and it was really good to. It was actually really good to just go and unwind. I wasn't actually going to go. Ben Cribben and the boys convinced me to go. They said, we're not going to change our cars. We're running our World's cars. We're running our World settings. And we're just going to run our World's tires and have a weekend away with the boys. So it was good fun.
And you've added 2 more to your incredible list of state championship races. While we're just talking about, just to wind back for a second to talk about the 10 Scale Nationals, it is worth just making a couple of comments about that. From my point of view, there's a couple of really interesting things to note. Anthony Caccini winning in the junior class, always good to keep an eye on some of the up-and-coming emerging talent around the country. Reece Marshall, I think, prepped for this event just about as well, Ari, as you did for the Worlds. And so for Reece to win that two-wheel drive stock national champs on home soil, that's pretty cool. And also on two-wheel drive day, Lockie Donnelly, who's been so much the dominant figure this year, getting down on AstroTurf and, knocking off the South Australian guys who know that place well for a well-deserved, I think his first two-wheel mod national champs, because I've got a feeling Spencer won that when they went head-to-head last year. I could be wrong about that. But good. So that's two-wheel drive day. And then it was rain affected. So we can all remember the story of they got a couple of rounds into qualifying, rain, etc., and had to push the finals to the next day. Some of the drivers had to leave and weren't able to be there for finals. We then ended up with Braden Miller taking the win in four-wheel stock ahead of William Johnson, a really young, fast talent from Brisbane who I think is now moving to modified. I think he finished second in junior, second in four-wheel drive, and he's off to mod. He's ready to go. He'll be one to watch next year. And then Damon Davis-Perry winning four-wheel drive. Big win for Damon. Cool to see him. Yeah, that's a first national titles, Ari, do I remember that right?
Yep, I think so.
In off-road? Yeah.
Yep.
And then just to finish that story off, then on the Sunday or the final day, somebody called Mitchell Pratt won stadium truck. No, short course truck. Jaden Edmonds winning stadium truck. His first, I think, national championship win. And there was a small vintage class, demo class as well, with Jason Connor getting the win there. And that's the track on screen. Ari's just been talking there about dirt versus treated dirt versus Astro, but the scene is definitely changing around the country. Ari, the other question I want to ask you was, how much attention did you pay to the Vintage Bash? And when might we see you at one of those vintage races now that the Worlds is kind of wrapped up and you're free to do some other things?
My Masavi RC10 is just literally sitting over there. Believe it or not, my warm-up for the Worlds was the vintage race at St. Ives.
Okay.
On Astro/Carpet,
on Astro,
mind you.
Yeah.
So look, I'm all for that. I love it. I followed it. One of the biggest race events in Australia in terms of numbers.
Yeah.
And what I absolutely love about vintage racing and the people involved in it, it's all about fun. It brings back the nostalgia. It brings back the fun element. And I sure hope it stays that way. It's really what is needed for our hobby, to be honest. I firmly believe it. For those that don't know, I run a hobby shop and we sell hundreds of vintage cars. It's insane. And it's not just for people, old guys like me who used to race them and want to revisit that. There's guys that are, starting out in the hobby and they're buying vintage cars and they're going there because they can see how much fun people are having. So it's really good.
Yeah, and certainly in terms of the bash, you know, while ever the crew that run that have their hands on that event, it will not change, because that's a firm commitment. Even when we were getting set to go down and cover it, they kept saying to us, we don't want you to cover this like a normal race meeting. You know, we want some on track stuff, but we just want you to capture stories. And it was quite the learning experience, the learning curve for all of us. And the highlight, one of the highlights actually, that replica 1989 two-wheel drive A final that they, you know, building 10 replica cars to rerun. That you should have been there, Ari. You should have been there driving one of those cars.
I was too tired after the Worlds. I wasn't going anywhere.
It was like 4 weeks.
But look, I missed out. They do such a good job, super professional. And it shows, you know, because they're getting guys from international, you know, overseas coming and racing. And it's, whilst it has that prestige, again, it's still just about fun. So it's really good.
483 entries. Yeah. Sorry, you go, Matt.
Oh, just say it was definitely a big learning curve for us doing the media there. It was a complete rethink about how we cover an event. But at the same time, it was so unbelievably cool. Not even just that reenactment race, but just the displays in the pits, the banter in the pits. Like the guys were bringing 50 cars each to show and talk about. May or may, if we do get the gig again next year, I may or may not have a car line in mind to bring along and have a burn myself. So
all right,
we'll see how that goes.
It's good. I volunteer to drive the camera while you're driving the car. Nobody will get seasick. It won't happen. No. I am qualified.
The other way around.
Yeah. It's been a big year for 10 scale off-road. Obviously, the Worlds, you know, took a lot of the focus of the year. There were some of those other state, you know, the state champs in Victoria out at Mildura. I think it was Jack McMillan from South Australia that might have swept that one, if I'm remembering that right. New South Wales champs at Orange, we talked about. South Australian champs opened the year on Astro in Adelaide, and I guess bookended the year in the sense of the Nationals back there at the end of the year. Queensland champs were up in Toowoomba on a really slippery, slidey, rough, properly old school dirt track that, you know, really kind of pushed some people. And the highlight of that race meeting, the Queensland champs, John Perkins, taking his first ever Queensland championship, having been racing since sometime in the mid-1980s. So that just about everyone who has ever known John was really chuffed for him to get a state championship win under his belt. As we get towards the end of the year, and in a minute we can do some awards, Ari, we're going to get you to hang out with us while we do those awards. But I did want to just check what you know about who in Australia might be on the move in terms of teams and drivers. We've seen some announcements from some drivers, not least Chris Sturdy, Jared Ment, Peter Seckold, kind of those three at least I've seen on the move. Are there others that you know about, Ari, that are likely to be on the move for next year? Without spilling other people's news, I guess.
No, to be honest, that's
okay.
I don't pay too much attention to that sort of stuff.
No, yeah.
But it happens at the end of every year, and that's part of the pro scene in Australia, if we can call it that.
Yeah.
I think for a couple of those boys, I think Schumacher's the go.
Okay. All right. We'll find out January 1, I reckon, when things can be announced. Let's get to our award. Oh, before we get to the awards, Mitch or Matt, any questions or comments or things for Ari while we've got him?
Not one for Ari specifically, but we did miss something that I just wanted to touch on quickly. Back at the Adelaide Nationals. Shout out to, is it Nick at Instinct RC? Yes. Becoming part of the Australian media crew at that event. I believe that was his first event coverage. Watched a bit of it. Was away that weekend. Didn't get to watch a lot, but well done, Nick. Did a great job. And as always, with anybody else doing the filming, if you need help or tips or anything, feel free to hit us up anytime.
Yeah, Nick did do a fantastic. I was messaging with him at times, and I think he was driving, running cameras, running backwards and forwards, messaging me. Mitch, you were there. You got to see Nick in action.
Man on a mission. He was doing everything. Yeah, as you mentioned there, driving, camera, like literally running around taking photos. I didn't even see him running around taking photos. but he just posted a whole heap of photos as well just after the event. I went, okay, he's literally done everything as a one-man band. So he's a really good dude as well.
And we should have thought about this in advance, but next year we'll have to get him into the team to be a part of the 2026 season recap now that he's officially, Matt's nominated him as part of the Australian media scene. So we'll do that. Yeah, we'll see what could make the show go any longer than by adding someone else.
Probably Peter Cooper, but he's up next. So.
All right, so let's do some awards, folks. As you might remember, we have been out asking you for your nomination. So we do these awards in 3 categories. Our Racers' Choice Awards, that's really the main one. Who the people of Australia have kind of nominated as the award winners. Then we've got some Media Choice Awards. That is, I guess who we think will nominate, and then our guest we invite to give some awards as well. So that's a little notice for you, Ari, if you haven't already, that we're about to ask you for your awards. But let's start with the Racers' Choice. So these are really the official nearest thing we get. I'm going to hand over to Tony to talk us through the Racers' Choice Awards for 10th Off-Road.
All right, so looking at the votes, a whole bunch of people got online and submitted their votes. So thanks to everyone for getting involved and being part of that. So the event of the year for EP Off-Road, you can see it's a runaway winner. It's going to come at no surprise to anyone that it was the Worlds. So well done to Hills and the Worlds. 2025 Australian Event of the Year. If I had a little clap sound effect, I saw that before. I can play that.
I'll clap.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Are we jumping into the next category?
Well, let's do while we've got that on the screen, let's go to Matt for the Media Award and then Ari for his Event of the Year. So, Matt, where do we go?
It's going with the fans.
Well, this is an easy one, right? Yeah.
Oh, and all of us had our moment. Was all the Worlds. It really sucks because being down at the Vintage Bash, it was such a great event, and I think any other year we would have had to said the Vintage Bash because it blew us all away seeing it firsthand. But once in a lifetime opportunity. To cover the Worlds, and it just went off nearly flawlessly. Hills crew just knocked it out of the park, and it has to be the Worlds, right?
It's to be the Worlds. Ari, for you, your Event of the Year, any surprises?
Yeah, look, I'm going to go a little bit left field.
Okay,
and I'm going to say the pre-Worlds.
Okay. Yep.
That for me personally was a highlight, but it really set the tone for what was going to be in terms of the Worlds, and it gave the club a real insight into what needed to be done, what they can do, what needed to be tweaked. I helped out a very little bit in the background. The boys did most of the work, but it was I know exactly what they went through, and for me, pre-Worlds was a highlight for me.
You were unwell over the pre-Worlds, weren't you? Was that the weekend you were a bit under the weather? Am I remembering that right?
Yeah, I think Saturday night was whatever we ate was not very good, and Sunday morning was not ideal, and the rest of the day was pretty average too. So I don't even know why I just said that was a highlight for me.
It was certainly the whitest face I've ever seen on Ari Buckler at a race meeting. Yeah. All right, Tony, let's go on to the Racer of the Year.
All right, let's bring this up here. Driver of the Year for 10 Skull Off-Road. Again, another runaway winner. Thanks to everyone who voted. And the 2025 Driver of the Year is Lachlan Donnelly, which I think is a back-to-back title for him.
I don't know what happened to that sound effect we had before.
It's there. I found the button.
No surprise. Matt, how did the media team kind of pop up? Anything different?
This seems to be going one way again. It's hard to go past LD. He just wrapped up his first 2 national champ as well. But what he did at the World's warm up was super impressive. He may not have quite had his reached his expectations at the Worlds, but he still did fantastic job there. Personal best results for him at the Worlds. But what he did at the warm up was incredible, and I think even people around the world, it helped. It got them to stand up and take notice of Aussie drivers, taking down some of the world's best there. So, well done, LD.
Well done, Ari. For you, got another left field choice for us for driver of the year?
Nah, has to be Lockie. 100%. He's absolutely killed it this year, and he's only going to get quicker.
I do think we should just notice a couple of the other votes here on the screen. There's Mark Fisher pointing one of them out. Don Blackman, a nomination. Rob Maycock getting a nomination for Australian Driver of the Year. Marcus Kerrup, not even Australian. So there's interesting nominations there.
There's definitely
let's go to
try and get the day off tomorrow.
That might be what it is. Yes, Mitch has voted for Dom.
No,
hey,
unbiased.
Let's go to our third award, our emerging or one to watch. Tony, take it away.
Yeah, one to watch. Pretty spread out on this one. Just a slight winner over the rest of the field, but the names are really interesting. Phoenix Eggleton, again, I think coming out on top as the one to watch. Has had a solid year. Yeah, what he's going to do in the next year, 2 years, 3 years is going to be super exciting. The other standout name that I saw do really well this year was Riley. And I think he can take that, second place in the Driver's Choice Awards into next year. And he should have a really good season.
Yeah, there's some fantastic names on that list, aren't there? Matt, how about for the media team, media's choice?
So we're actually a little bit different this time. There's one name there that will crop up later with a different discipline, but we kind of spoke about Tyler Connor, and I think that was more you guys up in Queensland. But down here, the one to watch we thought was young Lachlan Williams.
Yeah.
Took big strides this year and ran at the Worlds and all that sort of stuff, and just starting to show something, really getting up there with the Vast guys. So we went with Lockie for one to watch in 10 scale off road.
Yeah. How about for you, Ari? Who are you kind of keeping an eye on in the 10 scale scene? Who do you think's a kind of an emerging talent to watch in 2026?
I mean, obviously Phoenix and the Eggleton family do a really good job. They travel a lot of races, so I think that's well deserved. Firstly, I've watched Riley Lander West come through the ranks. More so, I could say a little bit more in 1/8 off road. He was in juniors 12 months ago in 1/8 off road, and this year for me, he has come leaps and bounds. He's, I guess, really matured as a young kid. And that has propelled him right up, I'll say right up through the ranks. So,
I think his name might come up a little bit later on in the evening as well on that same basis. Yeah. So that's our awards for 10 scale off-road. And look, what do you know? We are actually right on time. Ari, just before we bring Peter in to talk a little bit more about the Worlds, just casting our mind forward to 2026. I'm interested in what your 2026 looks like, but also, I guess what you're kind of making of the 10 scale off-road scene around the country next year.
Focus on fun.
For you?
For me, focus a little bit more on the team, the drivers. I'll say I've been quite selfish the last 18 months. And whilst everything I do for myself, does go through to the rest of the team, but I think for me a little bit more fun. I'll try and get my young boy to race a little bit more, Mason, and then do a bit more 8 scale because that's always fun, and still do some 10 scale. Built my 2026 cars, and we'll get to some club days and help out some people. I won't give too much away, but I do believe the Hills Club has got some things in the pipeline to make some changes for 2026 as well. So you can touch on that in a minute. Pete. Yeah. But it's more of the same. Just a little bit more fun and a little bit more focused on others, I'll say.
You should come to New Zealand at the end of February and race on a proper old school off-road track at the first round of the Asian Buggy Championships. You would love that joint, I reckon. You would love it.
That has been on my radar. But with the 8 scale Nats in Canberra and then we also have our Raw Speed round one, the Raw Speed series in Canberra as well. I think we'll focus on that and
Fair enough.
Get ready for that one.
Do we know where the Nationals is next year for 10 scale? Has that been announced?
No,
Mitch is nodding his head. Mitch knows.
I'm pretty sure. Now, I could be completely wrong here, but I believe it's down in ACT.
Okay, I would have thought it was due to be Victoria by the rotation, but there you go. We have no idea.
Yeah, I think it was Victoria because the Knox crew were talking about it.
Oh, sorry, for 10 scale. Sorry.
10 scale, yeah.
I thought we were still on the 8 scale side of things.
8 scale definitely.
Don't worry about what I'm saying. No, I wouldn't have a clue.
Okay, we don't know yet. I think it is due to be Victoria on the rotation, so hopefully some news will come out about that. And there's a few clubs in Victoria that would put on a good show for our Nationals. Ari, congrats on the year and the phenomenal effort that you put into not only your own performance but the team. And I've got to imagine that working with X-Ray International over the last year or so must have been quite a rewarding experience. Even if that the tour dive show didn't kind of go the way you guys wanted it, but that must have been a rewarding experience to work in that partnership.
Yeah, look, obviously, just like anything, you build that business relationship, you build friendships, contacts, and all the rest of it, which is such a positive thing for business and personal as well. We do this for personal reasons, and it's all about that sort of camaraderie and fun, and obviously the performance aspect as well. But it's all very good, very positive.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much for being with us. You're welcome to stick around. We're going to bring Peter Cooper in a minute, but if you need to go, you feel free to go.
Thank you, gents.
But thank you so much for joining us. Congrats on the year, and thank you not only for what you do on the track, but for all that you continue to contribute to the scene and the industry, supporting events, running the retail business, all that you do. You're a big part of how this industry works in Australia, and so we just want to say thank you for all of that as well.
No problem at all. Thank you, mate. I love it. Still love it. And we'll continue to do so.
Don't we all? And that's why we're sitting around here on a Wednesday night talking about this. Beautiful. That's Ari Barkla. We're going to bring Peter Cooper in now as we continue with 10 scale off-road focus, but we're going to welcome Peter. Hopefully his screen will not be up for too longer. We'll get a camera.
Image.
We can hear you.
Okay. It was working, I assure you.
That's all right.
He hasn't paid his electricity for a while.
Maybe you're better off not looking at me.
Well, let's just bring him in, and we'll just have to go with no image. But as long as we can hear,
no
him.
Image is probably preferable for most of us.
Mate. Firstly, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm awesome. What an unbelievable year.
Yeah. So tell us. Firstly, let me say congratulations to. I know it's not just you. There's a whole team that worked so hard for a couple of years, and then that enormous volunteer team that worked across the pre-worlds and the worlds. But congratulations on pulling off what was a really special kind of event. So from us to you, congratulations.
Thank you. It means a lot. It was pretty scary actually. Prior to taking this on, we hadn't even held a nationals.
Is that right?
Most people don't know. Ben Pribben, probably the main instigator of this. I definitely didn't want to do it in the beginning, but I couldn't be happier that we did.
Yeah.
And as you said, it was just a massive team effort. There were so many people who stepped up. Definitely wasn't just me. There were so many people behind the scenes and so many volunteers. Even the guys in the scrutineering and the tire impound, everyone did an impeccable job. And probably the biggest accolade for me was Jason Rona saying it's the best RC event he has ever been to.
Wow.
So
he's been around.
Probably a guy hard pressed to be to more events than what he has.
He knows a few things, that guy.
So that was probably the biggest thing for me. So that was pretty awesome.
Peter, I'm curious to know whether what happened at the Worlds lived up to the vision that your team had for the event, or did it surpass it? Obviously you had a vision of what you were wanting to deliver. Is what happened that vision, or did it somehow become even more?
For me, it surpassed it. Ben and Scott are going to laugh at me, but we didn't have any problems. The there was problems in the background, right? And
Sure.
Ben and Scott were
Always.
freaking out at times, like you can't imagine. And I don't know that anyone saw it, but the event went without an issue.
Yeah.
Anybody who was there, any competitors, they didn't see any issues. It was awesome. And I didn't think we'd get through the event without an issue. It's pretty rare that you'll get through anything that goes for 8 days, this size, with that many people involved, that you don't actually have an issue. So, I was stoked.
And you organised the weather. I mean, the weather was about as good as you could.
Yeah, I had to
possibly
pay
imagine.
extra for
8
that.
days in a row.
Yeah, I had to pay extra for that, but it worked out unbelievably well. It was a little bit hotter than expected, which is, I think, what really played with the track more than there was a night where I don't think it dipped below 17 degrees overnight, and I pumped so much water into the track. The next day it was bone dry, and that was probably one of the things that really screwed the X-ray drivers. So I hurt my own team.
I think I remember coming in on four-wheel drive finals day and saying to you, the track just looks dry, and you said to me, we put all of the water in that we always do, but the temperature, I remember you saying to me, it was 5 degrees warmer overnight that last night than any other night. And that's the vagaries of outdoor racing, right? Like, you can't, that is how the weather is. Yeah.
And one thing that for me was awesome, like, honestly, I really was hoping that, like, Lachlan Donnelly was obviously our strongest hope. I was really hoping that he could bring something special and make the A. Winning was going to be a big task, but if anyone out of Australia is going to do it, it was going to be Lachlan. But the fact that he didn't make it up there, and I put it down to the track conditions. So at least we put on an event that was fair for everyone. No one could ever say that it favoured anybody. It was a different track for everyone. It made it a fair and a great event. Yeah.
No, it was good. Tell me, Peter, were there a couple of moments, highlight moments for you across the weekend, or, things that, where for you as the whole team, kind of where you just stood back and went, that's unbelievable. Were there some moments like that?
Probably the start of the finals, especially. So two-wheel drive was a little bit quieter because it was during the week, but when we got to the four-wheel drive finals on the weekend, I sat over to the side of the driver's stand. I looked around at how many people were there, people who had travelled internationally, interstate, just to come and watch. And that was phenomenal. I know I've been to other worlds. When we went to Phoenix, there was no spectators outside of the track itself. But Australians embrace this. They get on board. They love the sport. And it's having all those people involved that creates the atmosphere and makes it not just a great event, but it makes it special for all the competitors as well. So for me, that was really good to stand back and watch.
Yeah. It's a pinch me moment, isn't it? When all of that hard work and all of a sudden the hooter goes and A1 is underway. And as we're seeing it on the screen there, this is the drivers' introductions before the second four-wheel drive A final, and look at that grandstand just kind of heaving. I posted a story during the week of the Worlds about the way that the whole facility screamed event. Like, this was an event. Ari used the word spectacle just before, and that, the size of the pit marquee, the grandstands, the banners, just all of those things that you guys brought together made this really, it was phenomenal. It really was a pretty special experience to see happen here on Australian soil.
It was awesome. There was quite a few moments leading up to it. I was a bit scared, especially financially. Like the tent, everything. We put together a budget. We blew out the budget by 25 grand. So the club is in the hole by 25 grand at the end of the meeting. I thought a lot of that money was going to come out of my own pocket. Thankfully, the club had enough money in the bank to squeeze through. But it's one thing that I think IFMAR needs to take notice of, is how expensive these events are to run. And I don't know what the answer is, but it's going to be hard. Like, if you go back to Phoenix, I'm sure that Hobby Action lost a truckload of money at that event. And it's something that IFMAR needs to look at and work out a way how, I don't know what the answer is, but somehow to help the clubs financially take on these events.
Yeah, to be sustainable for the event and the club and so on. Mate, just keeping on the time here, but tell me a little bit about what the support of the industry in Australia, by which I mean the businesses, but also other clubs and volunteers and, people that kind of came along and either encouraged or helped or chipped in money, or, what is the support of the broader RC community in Australia meant to you guys?
Massive. The money that we raise, which and mostly through Scott Hill. Scott Hill was the man in charge of getting sponsorship on board, and he's like a dog with a bone. Campbelltown Hobbies, in particular for Australia, put in for a small local business, put in a huge amount of money that I didn't dream they would put in. And then all the other smaller business that you'll see, Berserk, the little smaller businesses in the industry in Australia all chipped in. It was $2,000 here too, but those companies are one person. Like Berserk is one guy who doesn't make a lot of money out of this, but they put in a significant amount of money because they're passionate about the sport. And it's the passion in Australia that makes our sport so awesome. And hugely thankful to, especially Coyote, they came in and saved our ass at the end. It was going to be a lot more than $25,000 we're going to lose without them. JC, Campbelltown, then all the other people. It was just massive. And even to get so many people on board who are prepared to put their money where their mouth is, it's what made the event. Like, yes, we get all the people there, but without the money, we don't have the tent, we don't have the grandstands, and the event just doesn't happen. So massive thank you to all our sponsors. I can't thank them enough.
Yeah, that's a good shout out. I got two more questions for you. One is, what did you learn? So going. I mean, that seems like a horrible question. You probably learned a million things, but there are a couple of things that kind of stand out as lessons learned through the experience of putting this event together.
I learned that I wanted to do it again. So I don't know if many people know, but obviously the event where it was meant to go wasn't going to happen. And it sort of got asked if we would do it again. And absolutely did I want to do it again. So we put a lot of effort in to put another submission in. Look, in hindsight, for most people, it's probably not fair to come back to Hills, and it could be better off going elsewhere. But mate, I had so much fun that I was desperate to get it back again. We put in every effort, but now it's going to Hoodie Arena. So I'm sure they'll do a great event. And now I'll travel over there. Probably a big standout thing for me was I haven't spent much time with all the international drivers personally. There's not one of them who is rude or arrogant. They were all beautiful people, very accessible, easy to talk to. Didn't matter what time of day. They could be just about to walk up to their A final and someone would go, "Can I have a photo with you?" And they were all very receptive to the idea. I made so many friends with the international drivers. And that's probably the biggest thing I'll take away is the people I met. And the memories that I'll have forever with those people. So that was awesome.
Good. That some of the comments that you've got there lead perfectly into my last question. It's almost as if we scripted this. Where to from here for Hills? I mean, you don't get the chance to host the next Worlds, but what this sounds like it's whet your appetite for kind of big race action. What's next for Hills? What can you tell us?
There's lots of things. There's lots of talk. And so I don't know if any of these things are going to come about. We've been talking to Team Coyote again about running a Coyote event. They're super impressed with the level of driving and the amount of people competing in Australia, and they want to get more involved. I've been having words with a young Mitch about possible events that could come up. We'll wait and see what happens there. We'll run a hoodie race in probably March. One thing we do want to do is we want to start trying to make it fun again. So especially with the Worlds leading up to the Worlds, it became so competitive and serious at every race event that we had. It's taken some of the fun, and I can see people. It's hard for newer people to come in when it's so serious. So we need to make it fun again. We've got plans of having driver clinics. Now we have lights. We're going to try and do things on like a Wednesday night. Have a driver clinic on a Wednesday night where we'll have people who can teach you how to set up your car. We'll have people who can teach you how to drive. And then you go through on the weekend. We'll be there again to support them. There is potential of a FemCar event, which will draw international drivers back again. I don't know if I've spoken to anyone on my committee about this yet, but I have been.
Tell them now. Tell them now. That's fine.
I have been in talks with a few people. It would have to be something that gets voted. It could go to any club in Australia or in Asia, right? But when I want to do something, I'm pretty passionate, and I generally make it happen. So a Femca event would be pretty cool. Be nice to have some international drivers back again. And the other thing we're looking to do is maybe start a vintage class, which is once again maybe once a month we run on a Friday night, and it's purely about having fun. So as Ari mentioned, I was actually only talking to Ari about it today, is if we can get some, the ready to run cars, all the Gold Pound RC10s, put 21.5s in them, and everyone just rock up and have fun. It's not about where you come. Even Scott Hill was suggesting, let's not call the finals A, B, and C. It's race 1, 2, and 3. We don't actually care what final you're in. You're out there having fun with your mates. And hopefully that will start drawing newer people into the sport, because something I've always been passionate about is trying to get new people into the sport. We're really lacking on that. And it's something that I hope everyone together can work to do. Anyway, we'll see where we go from there.
One of the geniuses of the Vintage Bash was that there were no qualifying finals. Every race was a heads-up race, and for those that wanted to race, you could race. But for those that were just there to, to wheel their 1987 Hirobo Zerda, then they could just do that, and it was perfect. Yeah. Let me check in with Mitch or Matt or Tony. Anyone, any kind of questions or things you'd love to hear Peter reflect on around the World's experience?
Yeah, actually, I'd like to. It is Worlds related, but not completely Sydney related. I want to know your thoughts on the IFMA World's going to Hoodie Arena in 2 years' time, with the possibility of it staying in Europe 2 times in a row with the cycle and all that sort of things.
I doubt we'll stay in Europe 2 years in a row. I think they'll change it. Yes, it'll be in Hoodie Arena. I doubt it'll be back in Europe in 2 years' time. Okay. I could be wrong. Might be too. Yeah. Anyway, we'll wait and see. For me, I'll actually be going to Hoodie Arena. Being part of the X-Ray team for me will be awesome. I'll probably take Matthew, but I'm more going there to hang out with all the guys who I just made a whole lot of friends with. Get out to dinner, have fun. That's what the Worlds will be for me.
Are you going to race? Are you going to race those Worlds?
Definitely not. Even there's. I think I might be going over to Texas for the 8-scale Worlds, and purely I'm just going to hang out with mates. I just want to go over there and have fun.
Yeah. So, I think there's a few of us in this conversation that would dearly love to be at the 8-scale Worlds later this year. We're going to have to try and find some money and find some opportunities to kind of be over there. It would be pretty amazing. Mate, I feel like we should let you go, but once finally, I guess from us is a massive kudos. It was an achievement of a long-held vision, an incredible amount of hard work, and it was, I think, certainly I speak for the four of us, it was an extraordinary privilege to be there with you guys and be a part of seeing that event come to fruition and seeing moments like this we're seeing on screen here as Marcus Garrett wraps up the 4-wheel drive championship. And, from moments like that to the J final and the K final and the O final and, all the things you've spoken about, the atmosphere in the pits, all of that was able to happen because of the work that you guys did. And so a huge kudos and congrats from our team to your team. Yeah.
And massive thank you to you guys, because we wouldn't have this vision to remember it by without you guys. Excuse me. As Tony knows, I'm not one who watches too many videos. I know he complains. What do you think of our video? I'm like, sorry, mate, I haven't watched anything. I haven't watched a lot of the Worlds. So, Tony, well done. And you guys were as big a part of the team. It was huge. And now we've got something to remember it by forever. I'll be able to show my grandkids, this is what we did, and they'll be going, oh, that's pretty cool. So thank you. Really, really thank you. And thank you for letting me come on tonight. I love our sport, and hopefully we've got some bigger and better things to come in the future.
Well, we look forward to whatever it is that the Hills team put together next, because that was certainly a pretty magical experience. We're going to say thanks to Peter and let him go. And I think we've farewelled Ari as well as we work our way through the night's show. Thanks again to Peter and the whole Hills crew for all that you did. You've been working for 2 years. They've been working for 2 years to make this happen. This is not, didn't wake up in January and go, hey, let's put on a world championship. It's been a 2-year epic effort. The miracle has happened, folks. We are halfway through the night and we are absolutely on time. In fact, we're 3 minutes ahead of schedule because we're going to invite our next guest straight in and continue on. We barely have a moment to say farewell to Peter before we welcome Mr. Chris Mitchell to join us in the studio. I think he's floating around. So if Tony's still with us, we'll get Christopher Mitchell.
Oh, that works.
And there he is.
How are we?
Chris Mitchell, welcome to the 2025 season wrap and awards show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm honoured to be asked to come and be part of this, and nice to represent the Lockdown Hat crew. Mine's cooler because it's actually too big for my bloody head. Could you believe? I got a fat head, and it's actually I've got it buttoned all the way up. If I could get out of the seat, I'd show you, but I'm pretty jammed in here. But I'm honoured to be part of the show, so thank you for having me.
So, I mean, just give us a little tour through your year. I mean, you talk about car racing for a living, pretty much, don't you? So, just for those that don't know your story, what's the Chris Mitchell 2025 kind of year look like?
Tony's got the right hat. I like it.
There we go.
Tip of the big hat to Tony. I'm probably one of the. I count myself as one of the luckiest blokes around, because for anyone else who does this and it is passionate about our hobby and about RC racing, you go to work and you talk about car racing and you get told off. Well, I go to work and I talk about car racing all bloody day long, and they tell me to do it more, and then I get to do it on the weekend, and people ring the office and I get to talk about car racing to them. So I'm very lucky with my role. For you don't know, I work for Perth Motorplex. For 4 out of the last 5 years, Australian Speedway Track of the Year, 3 in a row. Just saying.
Just saying.
And it's so good to probably be the premier motorsport destination in Australia, and I get to put my little spin on the place and do my little things. So my year as far as RC car racing is actually very limited, because there's not much that I get to do, but I take the opportunities I can, although I say that I'm semi-retired part-time, because I don't get to do a whole bunch. But I did get to do a little bit of club racing at my home track, West Coast Model RC, which was then ultimately the host of the Australian Championship just in the later part of this year. And I got to come and join you fine gentlemen over at Penrith for the Winter Champs, which is becoming one of my favourite weekends of the year, because it's just a fantastic opportunity to fully immerse myself in RC racing and feel like I'm a semi-pro again, which is awesome.
We'll come back to that. I'll ask you about those. But so with Chris here, we're talking now, folks, for the next 20 minutes, half hour or so, about the world of electric on-road, predominantly 10th touring, Formula One, Twasco, all of that good stuff.
Hey, the Premier class. You missed the Premier class. Front-wheel drive.
Front-wheel drive. I want to ask you about that. I do want to ask you about that. But for before we kind of dive into some specifics, and we'll talk Winter Champs, we'll talk Nationals, of course, but just, from what you are seeing and from, what involvement you have had the chance to be, give us a bit of a sense of where we think the year's been for electric on-road, and some highlights. What are your kind of opening thoughts here?
Oh, look, I love to be the guy who's the most positive person in the room, but I think this year has definitely been a year where 10th Electric on-road has taken a backseat at its own cost, because of the popularity of electric off-road, and that's always going to happen with the home worlds. In that we saw that happen back in 2018, and in fact the 3-year lead up to 2018 with the Nitro off-road worlds here in Perth, in what was actually my backyard, that everything else took a big backseat. EP on-road, EP off-road racing, even people racing at their own clubs, everything fell off because people were pouring all of their money and resources into going and trying to make the worlds and attend the worlds. So electric on-road definitely has taken a backseat, but I think it's still really strong, and the numbers are the proof of that. I mean, you go to a state championship anywhere in Australia, you go to the Queensland's, New South Wales Vics, and you're pushing well over 100 entries, and the schedule's full. We're not sitting around twiddling our thumbs all day. Everyone's thrashing on cars, everyone's wrenching, and everyone's working to make the cars even better than they already are, which is the fun part about on-road, because the cars now are insane. The speeds that even the 21.5 stock class are pulling is crazy fast. I made the mental note recently at the national title that the track record set when the track, the bitumen was fresh. At the last Nationals, but in modified, it was set by Ryan Maker back in 2017, was a 15.5, I think.
Okay.
In modified.
Yep.
The quickest lap of the weekend at the Nationals just gone. Now the track and the bitumen has aged another 8 years, and it is definitely not nice out there. It's a 15.6 in 13.5. So that gives you the example of how much quicker the cars are going just in that short space of time. You're talking one cycle of Nationals.
Yeah.
And it's probably a negative thing. And a couple of my friends in the cohort of EP on-road around Australia may or may not agree. It's probably getting a little bit out of control. And the cost overruns, but the speed in which the cars are going and the popularity of the classes is great. And what we're seeing out of that is we're seeing that fun classes are coming to the front a little bit as such. Front-wheel drive.
Front-wheel drive.
Which I'm really excited about.
Come on, tell me about front-wheel drive. We saw you at the Winter Champs. I think you ran front-wheel drive at the Nationals as well. I've not had a chance yet to drive a front-wheel drive. What are they like? What do you love about it?
And are you ever going to catch John Puce?
Well, I did catch John Puce at the Nationals, and then I promptly took him out at turn 2.
You did do that a bit,
yeah. First day final, and then I took out Tim Boundy in the same process after going to the back and then getting back to the front. But so front wheel drive, if you've never watched it, there's some great footage here from us racing fronties at the Winter Champs. It is so much fun, and there's a big reason why it is now the most popular class at the Euro Touring Series. They just sold out 150 entries at ETS Dawn indoors on black carpet. They have 150 front-wheel drives. That is just insane.
That's a control or handout motor and speedy, is it?
At ETS it is. It's the Hobbywings. I think it's a 17.5 combo. In Australia, we run slightly different rules, so we use the Just Stock 13.5 combo.
Yep.
And many tracks are going now with a fixed gearing option. So all the cars are identical speed. This is video footage here. John Puce has already buggered off, so forget about him. But here you see, there's Pusey, forget about him. There's myself, Camo Kendall, Vinny Chu, and we're battling. The cars are glued together down the straight, so no one can have a speed advantage. If you make a mistake in the corner, you're going to get punished because then you struggle to get back on power and you're buzzing off the front tires like your mates in your Honda Civics at 17 years old with your P-plates. It's just so much fun. And it's actually it's kind of dumbed down an overcomplicated form of racing. Touring car now. I must be getting old because I'm whinging a lot. Either that or I'm turning British. Sorry if there's any POMs that get offended by that. But touring car racing is getting so complex, and you're chasing so many of the little 1%ers now. It's so refreshing to go pick up a class that you can just kind of warm the tires, stick it on the racetrack, and forget about all of that. You control tire, control motor, bodies that look fun. The cars still handle great. My front wheel drive's got more steering than my touring car. I still can't figure out why, but it's got more steering than my bloody touring car. So they're mad fun. And the proof was in that I started trying to promote that as a class here in Perth with the local club races. And I started just handing my radio around to people saying, hey, you have a drive, but like Oprah. And everyone started having a steer and they do 5 laps and they go, oh my God, this is awesome. And now they're starting to buy cars and we're building it up as a class. It was really rewarding to put it to the club to run as a possibility as a demo class because F1 probably wasn't going to get the entries, and they allowed that to happen, which was really cool. So if you're into on-road or you want to get into on-road and you haven't tried front-wheel drive yet and you think it's dumb because it's front-wheel drive and it's the antonym of a fun driving experience, I just bought a rear-wheel drive 2-door coupe. That's my daily driver. Front-wheel drive RC is still the most fun.
Tony Perth, you need to say something here, don't you?
Yes, I brought myself back into the chat. I am one of the converted to front-wheel drive. I got nagged by my good mate Chris Stanley for many, many months to get into front-wheel drive, and we went and did the indoor race at Canberra. ACT Club put on an indoor race. Most fun race I think I've ever had. We rocked up late after getting dinner, practiced, it was indoors. It was epic. And then still probably my most memorable moment of on-track at the Winter Champs when Chris was being silly buggers with me and tried to block the track and the pit lane, and I went through his legs. Nothing's going to top that. But yeah, I love it. Still race it every Tuesday night, and I do think though we should go back to 17.5 in Australia. I will chuck that out there. Chris is running 17.5 and I turned my throttle down, and it's just so much more fun to race door handle to door handle. The cars just seem a lot easier. And again, like what Peter Cooper said earlier, trying to get new people in to the sport and into the hobby and have fun, just taking a little bit of the edge off with a slower car makes front wheel drive so much more fun. So yeah.
Folks, wherever you are in the world, welcome to the Front Wheel Drive Show. This is where we talk about
I should get mine. It's over there.
No, welcome. Wherever you are in the world, we're reflecting, of course, on the 2025 season here in Australia and beyond, handing out some awards. We're chatting with Chris Mitchell, who's a voice well known to racers around the world from commentating such things as the 2018 World Championships and others. And we're talking about electric on-road. We've just been reflecting there on front wheel drive. But Chris, talk to me about there were a bunch of state championships across the year in Bundaberg and in Sydney. It got rained out and rerun and all sorts of things. But the Nationals felt like a real highlight event in electric. You were there. It was in your hometown. You've talked about that. Tell us a bit about that Nationals event and, pick out some of the key performances or, things that you noticed at the Nats.
Certainly a national title, when you talk about in any motorsports discipline, is usually the highlight. It's the pinnacle of what people are hunting for. Everybody wants to have a crack at potentially being crowned an Australian champion. I am unfortunately the most competitive person I know, and I struggle to take my foot off the gas a little bit. So building up to an Australian championship, there was a lot of local guys doing a lot of testing. I was listening to Ari before, and it kind of felt like that as well. Every opportunity in the middle of winter, I'm going, when are we getting on the track? When can we go? I drove, and I live a fair way out of town now, and I'm driving more than an hour each way to get to the track, to get there, just to have it to rain and then go to the pub anyway. So, which happened on more than one occasion, but it was really cool to see the amount of work that the West Coast Model RC Club put in. It's a very, very small community here in Western Australia. Many will say that we're still stuck in the 1970s, and many will agree. We're more than just 3 hours behind at the moment. But with such a small community, it's really hard to find a good base of volunteers and people to run these clubs and run these events. So for West Coast to get up and do what they did, I really tip my hat to everyone on the committee. Neville, who in his retirement age it just committed so much time to hosting the event, and Chris McKenna and the likes who stepped up. Nick Motter, I'm the club president there at West Coast. It's a really unique club in West Coast. It's the only club in Australia that's actually got two different disciplines on the same property. So the dirt off-road track and then the paved on-road track that's been there since the 90s.
Okay.
Being originally a nitro track, which it survived until its unfortunate closure with the local council in the early 2000s before it kind of sat dormant, and then West Coast expanded and took over and started running on-road. It's such a great facility that a lot of people in Western Australia don't realize how lucky we are to have this great facility and a great club. And it's the only show in town at the moment. If you want to race EP on road, there's one track in the whole state. Yeah, and it's that. Okay. And I'm a bit fearful of that because I've seen tracks go down the Gurgler before. But we're very lucky to have the place, and the build up to the Nationals was pretty intense for a lot of people, putting in a lot of work. But I think the reward was seeing so many people coming over and enjoying the track, and talking to people like Braden Stanley after his first battery pack. He walks down the stand and he goes, "Yeah, this place is cool," because it's such a fun track to race on.
Yeah. So pick out a couple of kind of highlight performances from those. Now, I've got the results here in front of me. I'm looking at the podium in 12 scale 13.5. Lachlan Pearson, Logan Rintoul, Michael Stone. What a podium! But there were some powerful performances, weren't there, across a number of classes?
It absolutely was. I was an idiot and decided to race two classes, so didn't watch too much of the other racing aside from wrenching on my own cars. But 12 scale is really cool there. 12 scale are hard to drive there. That thing is rough as guts for a 12 scale when you're getting down that really low ground clearance. So it's really difficult to race. I think Ed Clark won the last Nationals there in 12 scale modified back in 2017. Okay. And he's at like half throttle down the straights, because if you hit it any harder, the car just wanted to ski jump off the face of the earth. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see that that go down and see 12 guys actually running at Bayswater again was pretty awesome. A standout for me was watching Michael Stone. You know, there's many times we've seen him go to events, and I've been watching him for years now. You know, at some of the events I've been able to race at, and he's always had mint speed down the straights, but something's not been right, or he's had something a little bit missing in the corners. But it felt like the Perth Nationals was the event he finally was able to put it all together. And I know he was talking about, you know, they just had the new X-Ray come out just weeks before, and Nico was there, so they had great support with the chassis. But it was certainly the weekend that Stoney put it all together. I knew I was cooked after the first practice session, because he rolled out there first battery pack on the track, and he went a tenth quicker than anyone's ever gone in 13.5 at that track on his first ever battery pack. And I said, okay, this is the game we're playing now.
Okay.
But yeah, it was really cool to see him do that. And then young Mr. Rintoul. To be that good in 21.5. Definitely one to watch in the space of electric on road. He was just exceptional. And I don't know, he could win the lottery and his facial expression wouldn't change. You know, I think he probably has either a mental fortitude that is just unseen in our game, and hopefully that doesn't change as he grows older, because there's one thing that happens with young talent, and they usually hit puberty. They discover women, they discover all the fun things else you can do in life outside of RC racing, and suddenly your RC career looks very different. But yeah, time will tell, because he's an exceptional young driver. Yeah,
and I think we'll probably see him stepping up to the next class next year. We'll talk about next year in a moment. Good to have Nico. You know, he's been a regular visitor to Australian shores for big races, hasn't he, over quite a long time now. Nicholas Lee, great to have him back, and
it was fantastic cool to see a bit of international support for the event. You know, with Ethan Cheng coming down as well. There was a few more guys who were due to come down. A couple did and had a run, but it was cool to have them here. I mean, they're both great people for the hobby, great people for the sport. They're very helpful. And just the pure amount of racing that Nico does just sheds a whole different light on the way he goes about his racing process, getting on track, and never seems to be very flustered, never seems to really get wound up. Just goes about getting the job done. I mean, there was that moment of frustration in the A finals for modified, where he and Braden Stanley came to blows, and that was dealt with swiftly at the event. But even then, you know, Nico drove around and did what he needed to do. I watched him drive around with a body tuck for 4.5 minutes. Okay. Like, it was really, really interesting to watch that happen, because he was just rock solid. He did not move from his race line. He did not budge. And he knew at that time, like Jeff Hammond was leading the race, and he'd put himself well and truly in contention to win the national title. It was going to go to A3. Nico just had to get around. Didn't need to do anything stupid. And that thing sounded horrendous. I was waiting for his tire to explode. West Coast is an abrasive track. You don't need a Lexan body rubbing on it or trying to cut it down even further. But he just stayed rock solid and ripped it. It was cool.
Folks, wherever you're watching from, we're chatting with Chris Mitchell. Jump in to the comments on Facebook or YouTube. We'll see them all. Drop a question for Chris, or your own reflections on the electric on-road scene in 2025. Maybe a standout race meeting or event or performance for you. Chris, I did want to ask you a little bit more about that. And we've got Tony in the background, so we won't let him interfere with this. But the Winter Champs you spoke of has become a bit of a highlight, and it's a really unique event as far as I can see in Australia, that in the number of different classes that run over the 2 days, every category of electric and nitro in 8th and 10th and 12th. What do you love about that event?
I really enjoy that I get to go to it is one thing, and Tony and the Penrith Club are generous enough to have me part of it. So I get to hang out with you lovely people and enjoy racing and commentating and being around the hobby. But you know, I spent a fair amount of my career, I'm going to digress slightly, a fair amount of my career of recent in the world of drag racing. And every June there's a big event up near Mitch's Way and Scott called the Winter Nationals. Yep. And that is the holy grail. That is the coming together of the entire sport for a single weekend. And it usually pisses rain, and there's usually 1,000 oil downs, but every man and his dog there. Everyone who's someone in the world of drag racing goes to the Winter Nationals. I hope to get there one day, and then I'll be somebody. But I feel like the PDNR Winter Champs is becoming an event that is going to fall into a similar regard to that, purely because the club Penrith puts on such an amazing event. The level of presentation, the professionalism, how smooth it runs for a club that doesn't have a permanent home and has to put in twice the amount of work just to open the gates on any given day. It is so nice to go in, and everyone's smiling, everyone's happy to be there. It can be 2 degrees, which it was last time, and thankfully my tie warmers kept my hands from freezing over. But it's such a lovely event, and the competition is really hard because, the track condition can be a little bit Mickey Mouse, and you don't get a whole bunch of track time. There's not really room to have 4 qualifiers. You go, if I throw out 2, I'm all good. You only get two qualifying rounds. It's brutal. And I got to rip my good mate Coney, who's his plushie's back here. We even got to bring over the world famous Coney, the RC traffic cone, over to have a rip around with the short course trucks. But it's such a great event. And I fully commend Tony and Steve and everyone who's in the PDNR club. I forget everyone's names every year because I'm only there for 2 days a year. And I get back and I go, oh yeah, I know who you are. I even did that to Scotty this year. I said, who? But it's so
you just
cool.
say, "G'day, mate." G'day, mate.
G'day, mate.
Oh, yeah, good to see you again. Yeah.
What actually on this, Kyle Masterton dropping in the comment. Kyle Masterton's actually the guy that drives Coney at our speedway events.
Okay.
From West Coast Model RC. So I roped him into driving Coney, not this decapitated version that had to fit in my luggage to travel across the country. But yeah, so shout out to Kyle because he's part of the success of what Coney is as well, which is really cool.
We
Tony,
do actually
you
have
just
a
popped in,
question
so
here as well.
Yeah, go for it.
We've got a question from Braden Miller asking, what version of Coney are we up to?
So officially we are on version 3. So, but realistically, it's actually only version 2. The very original Coney that rolled out in a couple of years ago at the Motorplex was, you guys will love this. I have to dig it out because it's in the shed at the track at the Motorplex. It's an X-Ray XB8 with, I think it's Truggy shocks, and the shock towers from a truck as well. And it had an actual traffic cone base. No, sorry, had an aluminium folded metal base, and then the top portion of an actual traffic cone. It was ridiculously heavy. Was nut certed and bolted to this aluminium base, and that ran an R1 21.5 motor and a 60 amp speedy off a 2S battery. It was slow as a wet week, and not exactly the most reliable thing. That poor thing got ran over by a limited sprint car. We rebuilt it, and I had to go find parts and whatnot. Before then, I had the lovely idea to call Michael Snedden from Campbelltown Hobbies and say, hey, I got this dumb thing. Would you like to sponsor it? And he got behind it and got us hooked up with the Coney we see today. It's a lightweight HDPE body shell, which Brad Sweet, if you know who Brad Sweet is a 6-time US national champion, 5-time World of Outlaws champion, and the inaugural high limit sprint cars champion out of America. He got to drive it last year at Perth and promptly rode it off into a fence. And the backstory is we had a power outage. So we'd rolled the cars out, second night of high limit. It's the biggest race in Australian speedway history. It's the inaugural running of this race, richest race, the whole lot. We've got the best sprint car drivers in town. Sprint cars have rolled out for hot laps and engine starts. They've just done their engine heat and all the power's gone out. The whole venue. I can't even use a microphone to tell everyone, hey, the power's going out, guys. Oh, wait, that doesn't work. And for the first time in my commentary career and presenting, I felt completely powerless, to use the pun. And so one of the guys driving the John Day Ute, he goes, hey, where's Coney? Drive Coney around. The fans all like that. We got about 6,500 people in the grandstands at this point, sitting there in silence. So I said, bugger it, what I'm going to do? So we got Coney out, and I'm doing donuts up and down the front straight, and the fans are cheering. And all these sprint car drivers are standing around going, oh, what do we do? And I turn around, and here's Brad Sweet standing in front of me. And the fun part about this is at the Motorplex, we had all the mules, which are the quad bikes and golf buggies full of tools and stuff, all parked on the infield. So I'm 5'5", and I can't see over the top of the mules to see turn 2, standing on the front straight. Well, Brad Sweet's like 5'2". So they call him the big cat for some reason. My Maine Coon's larger than him, I think. Boris is around here somewhere. And so I go, oh, here, this would be a great idea. Let's give Brad Sweet the radio. And the front straight starts cheering for him, and he drives it out onto the speedway, drives it around, just goes thwack straight into the concrete. And there's a photo of Coney completely sideways in the air like that, doing the Tom Cruise, because I was inverted, impersonation. And it was a HDPE body, but we spray painted it, and paint doesn't stick well to HDPE. And so it was like an explosion of paint flakes, just poof, everywhere. And that's kind of one of the things that made Coney as famous as it is now. But it's pretty cool.
Folks, wherever you are in the world, welcome to this season review of radio-controlled traffic cone racing here in Australia.
You always knew I was going to be the guy to get us off track.
Coney has his own social media. You can find him. Tony, you just popped in before when we were talking about PDNR and the Winter Champs. I feel like you had a question or a comment there.
Yeah, I was just going to add this is a silly, random idea and conversation with Chris about bringing, the world's most famous RC car to the Winter Champs. And Chris is like, yeah, I can bring it over. And talk about crowd favourite. Coney was an absolute hit at the Winter Champs.
It was.
One little, perfect golden moment of getting people into RC thanks to Coney. There was a whole bunch of kids on this family fun day on Saturday. So I took Coney around and got him to pose with all the kids for photos. One young 9-year-old girl loved it. She was there with the dad. They'd seen the event advertised in the local paper, come down and check it out. The following Tuesday, they came back and had a look. And so we gave them a drive of our test drive trucks. We got some banged up old short course trucks, thanks to Toyo Tires, who donated them a few years ago. She had a drive of one of them, broke it, gave her another one, had another drive. 2 weeks later, they were back with their own RC car, and they've been to every Tuesday night since. So,
that's awesome.
Motorsport and RC, it's all the same. And if you just keep it fun, that's what gets people hooked. So thank you, Coney. Thank you, Chris. And thanks to Ava for getting involved.
All right, we came into this segment bang on time. We're in massive danger of being way behind time at the end of it. So
I'll try not to.
We're going to can't imagine why that happened. I do love, Chris, that I can ask one question. You can talk for 20 minutes without taking a breath. It's fabulous. Mate, we're going to do some awards. So let's jump in and think about some awards. So our Racist Choice Awards, our Media Team Awards, if Matt's still kicking around somewhere, and then we'll invite you to offer your own awards as well, and we'll do what we always do, which is go with the slideshow and start with the EP On-Road event of the year. Once Tony grabs that slideshow for us, I'm going to go over to you, Tony.
All right, EP On-Road event of the year. It was actually a tie. I'm not sure, but it could be the first time in history I think we've had a tie in the races votes. EP On-Road event of the year was a tie between the Nationals, the Perth, and the Winter Champs. And there's no setup.
I didn't realize I
because we got Chris Mitchell here. Yeah. Well, maybe you can be the casting vote, Chris. Put you on the spot if you haven't voted. Racer's choice. It's a tie.
Don't go too early.
Matt, Media Team Awards for Event of the Year.
Well, the reason I said don't go too early is because I was going to say the exact same thing. We kind of narrowed it down to Nats Perth and the Winter Champs, and Tony had no vote in that because he runs it, but the rest of us were Scott, Chris, and I were all there, so we put that forth. But Chris, you're the only one who actually went to both. So
does that mean I get the vote?
You need to break the tie for crowd vote and for Media Team vote.
And your own.
Yeah, it's going to be at my own peril too, because the West Coast Model RC guys are going to hate me. Winter Champs.
Oh, there you go.
All right. You heard it here first. Chris Mitchell is moving to Sydney. He's out. Thank you very much. Let's go with Driver of the Year. Tony, let's have a look at Driver of the Year, EP On-Road.
Yeah, keeping the trend of dead heats going. Driver of the Year was a three-way tie this year. So it is Logan Rintoul, Michael Stone, and Jeff Hammond came out as the three equal winners. So well done.
Wow.
That's fair. Yeah. Matt, did we land anywhere?
Quickly, just a quick shout out to Ray Zarb. Somehow got a vote in there. I'm not sure if he old and clicked the wrong button or what happened there. But
on your Ray. Good on you.
And Ray was one of those volunteers at the Worlds that we talked about earlier that was just there all day, every day. Incredible. So that's worth a vote on its own. Matt, did we land anywhere on this one? Driver of the year?
Not really. No, we're getting splinters in our butts this year. It's too much fence sitting. I kind of lean towards Michael Stone. He's a good friend of mine. I don't know how much it meant to him to get his first national 13.5 title. Jeff Hammond was thrown up as well. Logan's had a great year, but I think it has to come down to one of the other two. Who do we go with, fellas? The New South Welshman or the Queenslander? It's forever the question here at these meetings, isn't it?
No, you've got 5 seconds to decide, and then I'm going to go over to Chris for his driver of the year.
Who won more events this year? I don't actually know.
Oh, there's not been a dominant figure, has there, across across all the events? It's been one of the fantastic things about this category of racing this year. So many different people have won races. Maybe Logan's won more races than anybody, but yeah. You took too long. I'm going to you, Chris. Who's your driver of the year?
Jeff Hammond beat Michael Stone at his home track in 13.5, so Jeff Hammond.
There you go. Jeff Hammond. Yes.
Thank God Chris is here. We're actually getting stuff done.
That's right.
That's the first time that's ever been said in my life.
The latest, but he's getting us back on track now, so you're evening out.
Which leaves us with the one to watch, the emerging talent, Tony.
Yes, one to watch. And again, a bit of a runaway leader here. And big congratulations to Logan Rintoul. He was the one to watch last year, a really great year in 21.5. He has stepped up to 13.5, and everyone's really keen to see how he goes in 2026.
Yeah. Matt, is that where we landed?
We landed on the same one here, mainly because why he didn't get racer of the year was because he's definitely going to be the one to watch with the step up to 13.5. He's been pretty dominant in 21.5 for a while, and we know personally, being down at PDNR, watching him wheel the GTE car, that he has potential to drive fast cars very fast.
Yeah.
So we've been waiting for him to step up out of 21.5. So this is he's doing it, and it's time to watch him.
Excellent.
Just to jump in quickly, just one more name that's quite new is Logan Dean. Who've got a couple of mentions. So he's only been in on-road for a few months. His dad's run large-scale speedway, so he's raced a bit of that. He's been doing PDR Tuesday nights for a few months, and they did juniors at the New South Wales Titles rerun, and he won juniors the first time. He'd only had the car for 2 weeks. So that's another name to keep an eye on next year. He's only like 9 years old, I think.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, good shout out there. Chris, is there one to watch for you?
I'm going to back it in with Logan Rintoul as well. He was rock solid all year long. So he's going to be a pain in everyone's butt in 13.5.
We are just about out of time here in this category, but we can't go without just kind of looking forward a little bit to 2026. We've got a 12 scale and Touring Car Worlds back-to-back in late March, early April in China. Asian On-Road Championships back, at least in Korea. The Nationals for next year is in Brisbane at Bayside. Little bumpy, slippery, kind of properly 10 scale sized track. Chris, are there thoughts for you or things you're looking forward to about 2026?
Really looking forward to seeing a lot of guys who are heading over to race at the World Championships at the GDC track. Just watching some of the coverage that was gone just the weekend ago with the FEMCA race there. It looks like a properly phenomenal facility, and anyone who is in our hobby that has a connection in the government should be walking into their offices and showing them pictures of everything they're doing in China, because they just continue to go hard with the RC promotion and support there. I'm really excited to keep an eye on Bayside. Personally, I'm hopeful that I can get there. But it's probably not a good time of year for me with my workload. Which is classic, but that's how it goes. I'm looking forward to actually trying to get to the VIX to go race. I heard they're going to be at Bendigo. And so kind of excited for that. A couple of good friends in Victoria, and a couple of pretty wild races, Scotty Too Hotty and the likes of that. They're always fun to be around. So I'm personally excited to go do that. And then I'm keeping a close eye on the Go Bay side. There's a few people that are watching that one closely. They've just released some tire and additive stuff for the races, which everyone loves to up on about. So that's gonna be pretty exciting to watch.
It's been a club that has taken huge leaps over the last couple of years, and they ran a Queensland Champs there, I think, in 2024. They're hosting the Queensland titles again, essentially, and that's warm up in June. Nationals late in October. That will definitely be a good one to keep an eye on. This is a photo there from GDC, host track for the World Championships in late March, early April. That will be fabulous. We need to let you go, Chris, because we need to charge on, because I've sworn to everyone that I will not keep us here for as long as we did last year. So, mate, thank you so much for joining us. Next year, I think we'll just put you in charge of the show and we'll take the night off. That was the other question I was going to ask you.
Oh, yeah. I ran us too late for this.
How cool was this story?
Yeah, this is really cool to see. I mean, the whole RC industry has really been behind seeing Oscar make his trajectory into Formula One. Shame he's getting dudded, but you know that happens to Australians in F1. But to see Oscar acknowledging a lot of his heritage, and I know there's a lot of really proud people, especially around Victoria, that are going to hang on to that one for a long, long time. So that was cool, and it started a movement with the whole community doing the AI helmets. I did about 20 myself, which was really cool. It was very cool.
That's fun. Thank you, mate. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to the next time we get to hear your dulcet tones or see you wheeling that front-wheel drive.
Or a traffic cone.
I've got to get my hands on a front-wheel drive. They do look like fun. Thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
That is Chris Mitchell, one of the great voices and characters of this sport here in Australia, and that's our reflection on 10th scale and 12th scale electric on-road. We're going to stay on the bitumen now for a quick detour over into the 8th and 10th IC, a little bit of GT, as we welcome our next guest to the studio. First time he's been with us, Mr. Anthony Wasson. So we'll bring Anthony on in. There he is. G'day, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. We're having a fantastic time reflecting on the year. So we're going to jump straight in with you. And it's been we'll start on the personal side, and then we'll think more about the kind of the broader category of the IC and larger scales on road. But you've had a big year, right?
Yeah, big year, a lot of travel, bit of heartbreak in some events, but I ended off the year pretty well at the Nationals, so I have to say a lot happier now.
Tell us about some of those events you've been to outside of Australia before we get to the Nationals. Where have you been this year?
Yeah, so headed over to China for the Sunpowder SIGP International On-Road event. So actually a money event. So it is a money with quite a bit of prize money. Sunpowder do pretty well to offer about $25,000 in USD. Okay. So you can expect that it attracts quite a lot of big names. So including our own Jesse Davis. You had Bruno Coelho, you had Cookie Cardo, you had a lot of people come around, and then the racing there was really, really good. I have to say pretty strict too, especially if you're an EP driver. They were doing quite a lot of motor teardowns, obviously with that sort of prize money. They want to make sure everyone's racing fairly, but that facility is amazing. Like, that was the 2017 Off-Road Worlds. So they already had experience of running a massive event.
Yeah, good. This is you there at that event, is that right? This is where we've got this photo from? Yeah.
That's right. So it's, like I said, it's part of the Sunpowder battery facility. So it's in the industrial side of Xiamen. Quite a bit of a plane trip to get there, but not too bad. Just behind the bridge is actually a high-speed rail, so every once in a while you just hear this slight rumble and you have a train going 300 k's going past you all of a sudden. But amazing facility. Very different in regards that we're actually running on foam tyres for the GT. So that was a hurdle in itself.
Your travels then took you completely to the other side of the world. So tell us a little bit about the World Champs experience.
Oh, look, pretty much as soon as we finished the Worlds here in Sydney 23, I'm like, waiting for the announcement. Right, where's the next one going to be? Originally, it was Peru. I'm like, well, I'm committing. Going to go. And obviously got changed to Chile due to noise restrictions in Peru. If anyone's ever seen that track before, or not even just that track, that whole facility, it is the biggest RC park in the whole, well, I think it's either South America or the Southern Hemisphere.
Okay, yeah.
You think
it
about it?
Looks pretty amazing, yeah.
Yeah, and the track itself for GT, or even for 8 scale too, just the back straight alone was 90 meters long. So it's a humongous track, crazy track, but it offered a lot of good racing, and obviously it was great opportunity to be there, not just to represent Australia, but to pretty much go up against the rest of the world, which is my goal, pretty much.
Yeah. And you enjoyed the experience of traveling to Chile and being a part of that? I mean, it sounds like it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of prep. And by prep, myself and Tim, who you can see in the photo, Tim Duggan, we were working on things pretty much the start of 2024 in terms of motor modifications, gearing, even like trying to figure out what to do with motors in regards to air density and driving at a different altitude. We're quite high up in Chile compared to here. So, yeah, it was a lot of theory being put into practice, and, yeah, we got through it.
Yeah, amazing. GT's captured my attention a little bit this year just because I think they look incredible, but also because thanks so much to the generosity of Brian at PDNR, I got to race one of them at the Winter Champs this year. It is a really fun class, isn't it? I mean, they move around a bit, and just super fun to drive.
Well, what I have found with GT, and I've dabbled in 8 scale and Turo, even like your EP. I find that with GT, you can have close racing. There's quite a lot of strategy involved with the 7-minute rule with fueling, which obviously there's 2 parties, yes or no, for it, against it. But some of the racing that you see is very close, door to door. Yeah, there's a bit of banging, but in most cases, quite respectable. And as we've seen as yourself, like not this year's Winter Champs, but last year's Winter Champs with Rick and Cam going at it on the second GTE.
Yeah,
on it, like
amazing.
It's excitement.
Yeah. I think Brian popped a comment earlier about whether I'm coming back to the Winter Champs next year and do I want to borrow the car again. The answer is absolutely yes and absolutely yes. It was super fun, mate. So let's talk a little bit about the racing in Australia. The Nationals taking place in Brendale just a few weeks back for 8th and 10th. Tell me a little bit about that event. I mean, both from your own results, obviously finishing it pretty well, as you said, but tell me about the whole event.
Look, what I can say from the very beginning, a shout out to Dan Morris. Dan Morris just took over the presidency up at Brendale, Ingle Park Raceway. He put a massive amount of effort into that event to the point that he set up his camper at the track and was pretty much doing all the duties. His family was in the canteen, making sure things are running smoothly. And if you know me, I'm usually one of the first people to the track and one of the last people to go. And he was still well into rebuilding a car. He would not touch his own stuff until everything else for the event was pretty much set, ready to go for the next day. So, yeah, props to him.
Big shout out to the team. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. You don't have those sort of events without people like that. In regards to results, went into that event obviously somewhat confident. I was happy with how I won at Worlds and all that, and I do like Brendale very much. Did I think I was going to win it? No. Who was the competition? Graniger. I'll say that straight up.
Yep.
Was I expecting the likes of Kendall? Not as much as Graniger, but he did very well to TQ pretty much within the first 3 qualifying runs, if I recall correctly. In regards to myself, car started off great in practice. Was trying a few new things, the Serpent, and a couple of things I wanted to try myself that I learned from the Worlds.
Yeah.
And just battled some reliability issues with diff pinions and all of that. But just got to the point where I had to go and fight for a spot in the semi. Got in the semi and then had to bump my way up. Was leading that quite comfortably, and then Chris Mitchell might love this. The car decided to turn itself to front-wheel drive. And, pretty much spent probably the last 10 minutes of the semi in front-wheel drive battling to keep third. And at that point, I'm like, no, have to rebuild the whole car, bulkheads, everything, just to make the car as reliable as possible. In the end, worked out. Had a great race throughout the final with Cam. Myself having to start all the way at the back of the field and fighting through was pretty intense. I'm sure Mitch can say quite a bit with his race calling. And many times I would catch up to Cam and have a fight and kind of like crap the bed a bit and just being a bit silly, not needing to overtake, just leave it to the pit stops. But at the end of the day, you learn from that thing, and I got lucky in the end. Cam got a bit unlucky with a back marker and with one of the NZ guys, but as he said himself, and I know from my previous experiences, unfortunately, that's also a part of racing. But I'm definitely happy to finally get a monkey off the back and get a title.
It was a good win. A couple of the other highlights, I think, as I kind of watched along, that I think it was the last lap or last corner resulting in the 8th scale final. New Zealand's Luke Duthie taking the win over Andrew Shaplin, one of the absolute all-time legends, and Tim Moylan was on the podium as well. Looked like a really good event. Now we are going to run out of time, so I want to drag us on to talking about some awards. But before we do that, the other thing I think we would be best to, or well placed to kind of remark on here, is the other World Championship that took place in Australia at Brendale. Did you get to catch any of the Bike Worlds coverage yourself, Anthony?
Yes, I did. I was actually watching some of the GT guys from Singapore having a go at bikes, such as Easy and Prem Kumar. So it was good to see those guys make the trip over and have a bit of fun. I saw that they were racing in the wet, and that threw a spanner in the works, something I think we need to look at in Australia ourselves, but I'm sure it's a whole other can of worms for another time.
As in, you want us to race in the wet? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes. Look, if they can race motorbikes in the wet, surely we can race cars. Yeah, I dropped out there for a bit of time just to say good day and see what was happening. And I think Mitch was on the mic and Tony and Matt were doing the coverage. There he is, speak of the devil. And it was fabulous, to see what the modern RC bikes are capable of, and to see the Losi-based super motard class, I think they called it as well. I'm not so sold on that starting procedure. I feel like if you qualify 8th, you've given up a lot of time before you even get to go racing. So
with that starting procedure, generally speaking, at a world title for the bikes, they do actually have like an actual grid start with a pusher. Being that it was in Australia, this is the first time the Bike Worlds have ever been outside of Europe. So it was a massive change for, I think, a lot of the bike guys. So we didn't have, obviously, a massive amount of numbers, and there just wasn't quite enough numbers to have each driver having their individual pusher plus marshals. And along with the fact that a lot of the drivers generally have a person that they obviously trust to push their bikes off, because it isn't as easy as it looks. You would have seen a quick snippet of I think it was Mark just before pushing the bikes away quickly. And Mark's been doing it for a long time. He's a long time racer. He knows how to do it really well, and he makes it look easy. So
I know it does not look easy at all. No, fair enough. We are running out of time, so I'm going to drag us to some awards, and we're going to try and get through this awards for this category that is IC on-road and GT on-road. in about 3 minutes. So let's go with event of the year. Tony, over to you.
Ooh, I think that says off-road.
Oh, yes, we've got the wrong slides up there. We'll come back to that one. We'll fast forward to the on-road category. Well spotted, because we would have just given the wrong event of the year.
That's a pay deduction for Tony.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
right.
because you changed the order on me, and okay. So
I'll take
let
the
me
blame for
see.
that.
Yeah, I'm going to blame you on that one. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Event of the year for IC On Road. Huge influx of voters, which you can see there. And a runaway winner, if you can call it that, was the Nationals at Brendale, England Park Raceway.
Yeah, fair.
What's that last one say?
Is IC even a thing these days?
Wow, brutal.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Matt, where'd we get to in media choice for event of the year in this category? Is Matt
Well,
still here? Yes, there is.
yeah, I'm still here. We went a little bit different, but I'm not sure if does the Bike Worlds count, because
Sure. Yeah,
it's
we just
not
talked about it.
exactly
Yeah.
IC, but
Eh,
no, we had an absolute blast at the Bike Worlds, and I know from us being there covering the media, like these guys, as Mitch said, it's the first time out of Europe, and as far as I can tell, and what they were saying, there's never been any coverage of bike racing anywhere. So
Yep.
for us to be there and do that was really cool for us, but it was really back to our roots of doing our first ever events back at Brendale, and they just absolutely loved having us there and getting in front of the camera and just talking about what they loved. And we even bunked with Mark Lutz and Dave Verricchio, who ran the event, and it was just a completely different planet, niche within the niche of the hobby, and we had an absolutely great time. So we're going with
Fair.
the Bike Worlds.
Very good. Very good. What about for you, Anthony? Was there an Australian event of the year?
Well, I wish I was at Winter Champs, but there was a clash with the Queensland state titles. But
Yeah.
for an event that I was at, it would have to be Nationals. Obviously, not just with the result, but the amount of work that went into that, and the great numbers too that we finally had again.
Good.
Don't worry, Anthony, because Winter Champs won the last one, so you're off the hook.
It's all good.
All right.
That's right. Let's go driver of the year in the IC on-road category, Tony.
Driver on the year, 5 drivers were nominated. Another little standout winner there, and it was our man Anthony Wasson. No surprises there.
There he is.
I'm a bit surprised. to be honest,
Anthony.
but- Thank you.
We got the sound effects to round of applause.
Thank you.
Matt's media team.
Yeah, look, the same names come up in this all the time: Chaplin, Davis, Moylan. But
Yep.
given his, how many races you went to this year, Anthony, we've gone with you as well.
Thank you.
And
we're assuming
how well you've done at those events. So
Thank you.
big congrats on getting out there and all the success you've had.
Thank you.
And we're assuming, Anthony, you'll just vote for yourself as driver of the year. Is that?
No, I actually don't. I voted for. Pretty sure I voted for Ty Moylan. Actually,
Okay.
he's definitely shot up, especially getting TQ at Nationals. Yeah, that was quite a standout.
He might appear right now in our
Yeah.
final awards category of the one to watch a runaway win. Is that what we've got there, Tony?
It is Ty Moylan. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he'll be sending his dad into retirement in 2026. That's my prediction.
Well,
Seems
look,
to be able to handle doing 2 cars.
Oh, okay.
well, I'm pretty sure they're looking at doing 10 scale Nitro Tour Worlds next year in Italy. So that's definitely something to look out for.
Okay.
So sending Tim either into retirement or just broke, by the sound of it.
Oh,
One or the
nice.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
So, are there any differences, Matt? Is that where we landed as well with media team?
That is absolutely where we landed. We're all
for you,
hoping
Anthony?
that I will overtake Tim soon enough.
He's on a mission.
Probably one other person too. He hasn't raced much this year, but he's actually coming along with me to China in January to GDC, and that's Tom Ticklis. So
Okay.
I think there'll be someone to watch out as he gets a bit more time dedicated to him for IC.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yeah, we actually saw young Tom running large scale at the
yeah, that's right.
Vancouver event. So yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Anthony Watson, congrats on a fantastic year. Well done at the Worlds and your first Nationals in GT up here in Brisbane. I look forward to going head-to-head with you at the Winter Champs next year.
Yep,
Just
I'll
give
be
me a
there.
yell when you're coming past to lap me, and I will get out of the way. That's how it'll work. Every time you come to lap me, all 17 times, just give me a yell and I'll get out of the way. It'll be fun.
All right, people know to look out for a green car. But that's fine.
So, mate, thank you for joining us. Congrats on the year and all the best for Christmas and 2026.
Thank you. Same for you guys. Keep doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, mate. That's Anthony Watson. It's been a big year for him. And speaking of people for whom it's been a big year, we're going to welcome our next guest. We're not slowing down. We're just charging on into the night. And this is a man that I've been looking forward to having on the show. Would you please put your hands together? Oh, there he is, Mr. Joel Powell. Welcome to the show, mate.
Go downhill.
I think we've got you muted
Joel
at
is
the moment.
muted.
So
there we go. I'm back.
He's back. Welcome, Joel.
Legends. Thanks for having me. How's things, boys?
Yeah, good. So we're talking 8-scale off-road with you, and I'm assuming that the highlight of your year was being set free with a camera and a microphone at the Philippine Masters to go do a pit walkabout. Is that as good as it got?
Oh, mate, that was unreal. What a time. It was, Tony came and gave me a quick heads up beforehand, but when you rolled down with the camera, yourself, Scotty, the boys, it was game time. It was all action. But it was wicked fun, man. What a great event that was. That was really fun. That was my first time international. First time seeing that level consistently just in front of you. It's pretty eye-opening. I'm all about having fun, don't get me wrong, but those guys are incredible. That's absolutely amazing to watch. And just all the legends, man. I got caught up in the pits. I was pitting with Plamen Petrov, guy from Bulgaria.
Yeah.
He won the Truggy the year before. Him and Jacko had a fantastic battle. And then also a gentleman named David Backer. He's a Kyosho driver from the US. Just a couple of legends that I've never met before. And, mate, we had the time of our lives. It was fantastic.
I certainly never saw you not with a smile on your face. And that probably is true just about everywhere I bump into you. What have you loved about 8-scale? Tell me what you've loved about 8-scale off-road in 2025. What have been some highlights?
Oh, mate. Well, it's been a big year. It's been a fun year. I've done state titles at home. We've done local bloke Marco Sanfroni had a Bestia Cup round this year. That's the first of that event that we've done. And then traveling to Manila, obviously, that was unreal. Bateman's Bay, man. I think probably my highlight for the year would have to be Bateman's. Massive shout out to Brad and the crew there. Like, such a small club, not heaps of support, and to pull that one off, man, I had a blast. I thought it was they undersold and over delivered. I thought it was really good.
I'm having some memory now of you winning. What did you win? Didn't you win something?
Yeah, I
remember you being interviewed and
I beat the kids in a sportsman race. I'm surprised you didn't remember, Scotty. It's a big deal around here, these neck of woods, mate.
No, I remember it well. I particularly remember the post-race interview. It was one of the media highlights of the year.
Oh, mate, it was good. It was good.
So tell me about some of the things you've noticed in terms of the scene, some of the the big races, the performances that stood out to you. What's your summary of 8-scale?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we kicked the year off with a mega bang. Jaden Edmonds' drive over in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Right at the start of the year, he came out of the box swinging, man. I've raced with Jaden since I've ever started. So I've been around his skill and watched it develop so much over the years. He is lightning quick, man. I think few little problems with the cars here and there, but his pace is right up there with the best of the guys in the country. I think he's absolutely one to watch. But yeah, his performance in New Zealand was unreal. Stoked for him on that one. And then, not to sell short the year that he had either, man. He had a lot of achievements this year. Drove really well. State titles here. Him and Zach Foster, you guys don't get to see it. You're not here in SA, but those boys at a club day, it's just awesome. It's like cat and mouse, Jaden's got the pace, but if the track's off or the tire's wrong or, if it's just a clubby and it's going bald or whatever, Zach's just Mr. Consistent. He's rocks up, gets the job done. He says, bugger all to you all day. He's just happy, stoked being there, and just performs unbelievably. Really, really good driver. So that was my probably start of the year highlights. And then moving forwards, when we got to ABC, I think the big one for me there, besides obviously those international guys, watching Kato, watching Ongaro, watching Kilic, like I actually spent a fair bit of time hanging out with Burak. Good guy, pretty flat out, but I like him. But the way that they drive a car consistently for that amount of time, it's just incredible, absolutely mind-blowing. But Christian Walhutter, his drive at ABC, man, to get that P2 after battling with Miyako driver, bloody forget his name right now. Pecco. Yeah, man. His battle with Pecco, that was wild. And then Pecco running out of fuel, going the short stop. Gosh, I was sitting on the edge of that grandstand just twitching. It was so cool to see.
Remember,
there was a lot.
Down
there was a lot
to my
like
right.
That,
I could hear you the whole time on the camera, just exclaiming every time anything happened.
Oh man, it was off the hook. And I don't know if you guys remember in qualifying, Christian's cleanup on pit straight. So that was a pretty much fully rebuilt car that he went into that main with. Had not been running on it all weekend. And I know, like, set up, rah. But it really is, if you've got a car that you're feeling comfortable with and then you go ahead and have to change things like a chassis or a whole front clip or whatever, those setup changes, it's going to be different. And that was a hell of a crash, man. I watched that happen. Ball noise down the street. Oh, ripped the whole front end off, man.
What does Scotty Ernst say? Clean up aisle one. It was one of those, wasn't it? Like it was a...
Oh, was it ever? Yeah, but he's driving the main. Sensational. Yeah, it was good.
What else have you been paying attention to this year, mate? I feel like I can just wind you up and let you go.
No. Let's get, mate. I'll go on up, boys. I reckon we'll run out of time. So watching over in the eastern states, seeing Donnelly recently take a step into the 8 scale, and I'm not surprised at all. He's an incredible driver in 10 scale, and he's come out and shown his pace instantly in an 8 scale. I'm not sure if there was much practice going on. I wouldn't imagine that he'd be committing a huge amount of time to 8 scale. I think it's probably something that he's doing for fun rather than the accolades. That was unreal. Jared Ment's performance at Nationals, that was very good. And Jared's a fast driver, man. Again, got that 10th scale style, which is so consistent. I think maybe he's not up there with... Yeah, go on, sorry.
I was just going to add to that. I think you're right. Like, I think those two... There's two things I like about it. One is that they've 10 scale coming over to 8 scale, and that's that's a bit of an adjustment. But also, it's the first time probably in a while we've seen, can I say, genuine front running national pace out of New South Wales. So, for the last few years, it's all been South Australia, Western Australia, Queensland in terms of the very front that are going to win nationals. And now all of a sudden you've got Jared Ment, Lockie Donnelly in the conversation, at least. I think I did reach out to both of them yesterday just to say, what's the plans for 2026? And both of them said, whilst 10 scale will still be the main focus, they're both kind of hoping and planning on an 8 scale program. And I think we'll see at least Donnelly, but I suspect both of them at the Nationals in Canberra.
I've seen them over the years, going around doing a lot of 8 scale with my brother. They've been very intermittent here and there, and they've always had decent pace, but never quite clicked it with the 8 scale stuff until probably this year. They've just turned it on and just they're right up there now. Not that really anyone's surprised, but having seen how much time they've actually put into it, it's just like they've come out of almost nowhere and challenging now. Yeah, it's pretty nuts to see. I really didn't expect them to be up this right up the front that quickly with have relatively little time they've done in the nitro cars. But then again, why should we be surprised, huh?
Absolutely. I feel the same way. Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, quick question for you from Zach Ryan. We've just popped up on the screen. Wondering if we're up for a 2-hour track walk. Yeah.
Oh, mate, that time 40 and I went for a track walk. I'll tell you what, I've done a few track walks since then, though. I've been roped in. Did Bateman's Bay track walk this year. That was good fun. Bit of a laugh. I just need the right crowd around me. Otherwise, I get on a tangent, mate. I'll get carried away a bit, you know.
That first one, that was a cracker.
Yeah.
47 minutes. 47
well, yeah,
minutes.
right. There's a limit to how many beers you're allowed to have before getting in front of a camera because it just gets carried away super quick.
Yeah, keep it to about 10 or 15 minutes, Joel. That should be good. Thanks, mate. Yeah. 47 minutes
when we
later.
finished, we're like, how was that? Was that like maybe we went over a little bit? Was that like 15 minutes? I'm like, no, dudes, that was like 47.
Oh, you can't take us anywhere, mate.
Folks, we're reflecting on the 2025 season. We're with Joel Power, South Australia's Joel Power. If you've got a comment or a question or a favourite Joel Power story, now's the time to drop it in the comments for us so we can get it up on screen. Joel, what else? I'm thinking about Aaron Dexter.
Think of that. I think about that bloke probably 4 times a week, I reckon. He's a regular occurrence in my mindset. How good was the Truggy performance, mate? That was on a rent-a-ride. So Ben Braddon, another SA legend, caught wind that Aaron was keen for a Truggy drive. We hit up Matt Samra. Right, Matty, your car's got all the upgraded stuff on it because there's a little bit of updated stuff we've been doing with the truck. They haven't released a new truck for a very long time. And now we're sort of starting to transition some of the 2.0 buggy parts into the truck. Just gives a little bit more adjustment in the roll centers and creates a slightly narrower track width with the rear end that we extend with the hubs. It's just a little bit of mucking around, but it's really come to, and the car's fantastic. I really love my truck. So we hit up Matty. Matt's shocking at his maintenance. So the car's no good. It's not ready to go. We're rolling out to Bateman's Bay. It's day of. And Ben catches wind of it and goes, "There's a built Truggy in my shed. My dad's going to drop it off. I'll bring it to you." And then next thing you know, we're in Bateman's Bay. Aaron's not done practice laps of the truck, nothing. It'll be right. We'll put Joel's set up on there and we'll just see how it goes. And then walks away with the trophy. What an absolute weapon. It was unreal. I frothed out. Yeah. Aaron's a great guy, man. Gosh, I've got so much time for that bloke.
I just missed. I'm just going to butt in for a second there, Joel. I just missed the chance to say goodnight to Mitch Pratt. Mitch on the mic. Mitch is on 3 a.m. starts at the moment, so he said to us during the week, "Boys, I'm in, but I've got to go at 8:30." Oh, there he is.
Thanks for having us, Mitch. Cheers,
I hung around for a couple more minutes just to say, nice work driving that short course truck, Joel.
Oh, thanks, mate. That was a classic that day, man. Hey, good work to you, mate. Taking home the champ.
Yeah, every now and then I like to win.
Yeah, no, I smoked it, man. I couldn't run with you. It was good. You were flying.
Cheers, guys. All right, well, we'll see you all next time, and have a good night. And I'll be watching in my sleep.
Mate, well done on a huge year behind the microphone. It's been an absolute delight, and to see you and Scotty Ernst tag teaming it at the World Championships was pretty special. I absolutely
mate.
Seeing you do your thing, and it's been a privilege and a pleasure to be up close and see it. So well done on a big year. Sleep well. Don't crash the houseboat this weekend under the influence of alcohol. Don't do that. Don't do that. Keep an eye on the news, folks, from an incident on the Gulf. No, never mind. See you, mate.
See you guys.
Good work, Mitch. Thanks, mate.
All right, Zach Ryan has taken us all serious now, Joel. We've had the laughter. Here's the question from Zach. Is driver etiquette getting worse now with the young guys coming through? Do we need to improve our penalties to get our racing back on track? Ooh, I'm going to let you
take fair question, Zacko.
But I would also like to have some input on this too. After you, Joel.
We'll come to you,
Matt. No worries. Yeah. So I believe so, absolutely. I don't think it's out of control. I don't think it's anywhere near the level in our country as if you were to go and do an ABC Philippines or an international event of that sort. If you go on just from visually watching races in Europe and America, I think at somebody at my level or perhaps Zach's level, quite a bit faster, but still not quite in that, top A group, it's cutthroat. And I understand the passion and I understand the eagerness and the competition, and these guys, they want to win, and I get that. That's super fair. It's not my perspective. I've come to terms with not being the fastest guy. That's okay. It's fine. I'm just going to go have fun. And so to me, driver etiquette isn't an issue. if there's a faster guy coming up on me, it's all good, brother. Roll through, get your lap time in. Maybe I'll learn something if I try and hang off you for half a lap or as much as I can stay with you. I do believe that now we're also reaching a point where our competition in Australia, it's up there. We've got some serious contenders, man. And it's not just an Alex and a Caleb. It's an Alex, it's a Caleb, it's an Aaron Dexter, it's a Jaden Edmonds. The list goes on, mate. Look at Payne, he just came out of retired and got him like a Nationals podium in a truck. You know, like these guys still mix it. Gillett was smoking me all weekend. Like there's a lot of really good pace. Craig Lawton comes out of nowhere, just decides to rock up on the last day and get into the main. Like these guys, that's what's bred this next generation. You think of the level that it's come from, of course it's going to get that intense. And these guys, they want to win. And I don't think it's a stuff you get out of my way thing. It's a like, dude, I can see myself winning this. And there's 15 guys that feel that way. So I don't know if penalties are the best way around it. I think fighting fire with fire maybe isn't the way to go about it. That's just me personally. I think leading by example and just really trying to highlight the fun side of why we do this, you know. Yeah, cool, man. You've got stickers on your car and there's people that give you free stuff and rah. Awesome. It's great that they support you, but are they supporting you for winning or are they supporting you for representing their brand? And I believe that representing your brand comes with a lot more than just winning. That's just my 5 cents, I suppose.
Joel Power telling it like it is. Nice to hear. Matty, you were going to chime in on that question of driver etiquette.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's 5 cents, Joel. It's about $20 worth, but
yeah,
I think I actually fully agree with everything you said there. Bringing back the fun side of things, what I wanted to touch on was kind of rolling on from that. Is that I think with format specifically, it is too qualifying centric. There's just too much time spent out on the track turning laps, and then you get into a race scenario and you've spent all day turning laps and getting out of each other's way that people don't know how to race together anymore. And back to Zach's question with the young guys coming through, I do think they are missing a bit of that wheel-to-wheel racing action to get experience. They're only in Nitro end up with one race in a weekend. But I will say it's not just the young people. I had my first race in about 3 years a couple of weeks ago down at Southern Highlands, south of Sydney. And some of the stuff coming out of people's mouths on the driver's stand from the experienced guys was pretty scary. And it actually threw me a bit. I was like, wow, is this where it's at? And because, like you said, Joel, everyone's so competitive now and just everybody is so close and wants to win. The field was stacked, just running stock down at Southern Highlands. But yeah, for me, and it's evident in the way that we used to run, or still run, but I'm not part of it anymore, our annual event at Sydney RC, that we pretty much just abolished qualifying and everyone goes out and heads up races the entire day, or the entire day and a half that we're there. You have your practice and then you just go race. And I think we just need to get more of that wheel-to-wheel racing into people, and the etiquette will probably come.
Yeah, that's such a fair point, man. It really is. I fully agree with that.
Yeah,
we here in South Australia, we'll do heads-up racing regularly because we probably struggle to get numbers at club days and things like that. So if we've only got 3 groups and it's hard to have pit guys and all of that as well as marshals, then we're just jumping straight on heads-up racing. We do 1 seating round in the morning, and then it's just pit lane starts, racing all day, and it's fun. It's action-packed. It's good.
Yeah, that's what we do for our Ride Cup event. We just there's one, you say seeding round, we call it qualifying, and then you go into heat races speedway style and you race.
Yep.
Yeah, you just heads up race, accrue your points, and we figure out finals from that. That's all racing. Yep.
There's been a bit of a common theme in some of our conversations tonight about getting back to fun. Ari Buckler talked about that earlier in the night. You've been talking about that yourself, Joel. This comment here on screen, just kind of saying, hey, we talked about it with the Vintage Bash. What's the competition, and I love competition. I'm all about the competition.
Yeah.
We've got to kind of find that balance, don't we? Of the hardcore competition with the kind of fun side still right there in the middle of it.
Yeah.
We're watching on screen the Nationals down at Batemans Bay. You spoke about that a little bit earlier, and gave some kind of kudos to the club, the little team that pulled that event off. Reminds me that this event and the Asian Buggy Champs race had the dreaded R word, rain affected. What'd you make of that,
mate?
Joe?
That was tough. That was a tough gig, mate. What do you do? I think there's so many shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and at the end of the day, it was what it was. I was out there marshalling for that main. I went out and volunteer marshaled just so that we could get the show on the road. And I, among a handful, maybe if not all, would have been happy to stay out there and marshal in that situation. I understand it was really tricky to drive on the track. It probably wasn't completely safe for marshals. But I also am a big believer in racing is racing, boys. You play the cards that you're dealt, and a lot of people started coming through the pack that you weren't expecting. It really throws a curveball. It puts the skills on the line. What can you do?
Yeah,
it was a tough one. It was a very tough one, mate. I fully understand where the committee came from with their decision making, with calling it, but then I fully feel for the racers because that's racing, Yeah, tough one.
It is.
And then ABC as well. Crikey.
Yeah, that hurt, that one, because we were set up for some phenomenal 45 minutes still to come when the rain started falling, and I
think that one was a little bit more involved in that one. It came down pretty heavy there. That wasn't even just a fact that the fact that it was an oiled track and it got a bit slippery for the cars. The amount of rain that came down, it did ease off a bit, but then it came down super hard. That would have washed any track out. I'm certain. No one could have raced. No
absolutely.
Track coped with that.
Joel, I want to ask you about some changes that might be coming through. We've seen a few drivers making some moves and thinking about next year, but we just got this rumor here from Matt Samra that we're just going to pop up on screen. Just wondering if you can tell us anything about whether 40 might be coming back to win the Nationals this year. Is Matt telling Porky's here, or is this a legit
boys,
exclusive?
I'll tell you what, right? We've missed him. We've all missed 40. He hasn't been there. He hasn't helped us out. I'll tell you what, when I was in ABC in Manila, I was using Andrew twice a day doing phone call tuning adjustments to my car, right? He's over the phone. He's watching the videos and getting the little snippets of me in the background because they weren't following me. I wasn't winning. Going, Joel, you need to try this. You need to do that. And we made a couple of changes, some international changes, and it worked. It was fantastic. But the rumour on the street is, after watching Aaron Dexter win the Truggy Nationals, the fire has been relit. He's eager, he's keen. So hopefully there'll be an old school Duke out next year at Nationals. We'll get Payne out, Gillett, 40. Maybe even we can convince Lawton to get back in the truck. Timmy Gork, Roger might make an appearance. I'll tell you what, I'm going to be struggling to make the main.
Makes a trip to Canberra sound very appealing to see all of those guys.
Yeah.
Look, I don't have the technology to put a poll in the chat here, but if you want to see 40 back, just follow the Zach Ryan thing there. Give us a bring back 40 in the comments. We'll pass. No, he's an absolute gun, legend of a fella.
He is. Mate, his knowledge is absolutely out of this world. It's ridiculous.
Want to ask you about a couple of big moves we've started to hear about in the off-season. Christian Wallater out at S-Works and making the move across to Kyosho. Jaden Edmonds out at Mayako. Peter Seckold out at X-Ray. There's rumours about some changes among some of the kind of front-running Queensland drivers, if I can say that. People testing different things. What have you heard about what's happening in 2026, Joel?
Well. I don't know if this is the time to just start dropping what my ear's been hearing, but there's been rumours along the grapevine. I've heard some whispers. I've heard some Chinese whispers. I'm stoked for Christian. I think the K car is fantastic. Darren Cornwell runs it here. Yeah, Darren Cornwell runs it here in South Australia. And I think it's a great car. I think he's made a good the decision going back to a C hub. I think it'll suit Christian's driving style. That's a good move. I saw Jaden Evans post up.
Can we just say how cool it is to have Kyosho back kind of, more serious about racing? They've been building a team around the world, and our sport is better when companies like Kyosho are all in. From that point of view, it's cool to see Christian over with them as well.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. It's super cool. And you know that Martin's going to give 110%. No matter what he's in, he is a committed man. He does everything he can to get his son the best equipment and the best things that he can provide, because he's a committed guy. I think it's going to be a great move for them. Aaron Dexter's been chatting with me about it. They've done some running together, and pretty much all the feedback I'm getting is, dude, Christian's car looks dialed.
Okay.
So that's good news. It's good news.
Well, it's bad news for everyone else, but good news for Christian. Yeah, and for Kyosho fans.
Oh, mate. Yeah, he'll be a hard guy to beat come Canberra, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Good news for us in the media too. To film some good racing. So
yeah. Oh, mate, I can't wait. I'll be sitting there. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so a bit of testing from some guys in Queensland. I would assume maybe Caleb's maybe stepped back from Techno and he'd be trying some things out.
Okay, is that just the story you've heard? Okay.
Yeah, that's again, I'm not naming any names. I just heard some things on the grapevine.
You just did name a name. What are you talking about? No, we're not going to go too far down the track of wild.
I'm not going to hold you to it.
Rumors, but it's just a bit of fun.
Yeah,
there's a concerted effort here from Team Beale to get Zach Ryan on the pod. You just need to go back to last year's show, you guys. Zach was our guest on last year's show, so we don't like to have the same people 2 years in a row. Maybe we'll have Zach again next year. Maybe we could just have a Zach Ryan Joel Power show. That would be fun.
It would be fun. I did a little video chat like this with Zach Ryan when I first started getting into my RC, like toy cars with Joel thing, and we sat down for a 45-minute chat. And it turns out that the app that I used to record it did not record any of the audio, and it was just a video of us, of our faces moving. It was fantastic.
Watch that.
You could probably get some kind of AI lip reading software now that could reconstruct that for you, I'm sure, if you've still got the video. Mate, what else? We're going to get to awards in a second, but is there anything else from 8 Scale Off-Road this year that you want to kind of point to?
Oh, just the young guns. I think the young guns of Riley Lander-Smith and Elliot Grierson, those boys are doing fantastically. I think they deserve a shout out. Their drives in the junior mains at Nats, and then also their drives in the sportsman main at Nats, as well as just being good kids. They're humble, they're kind, they're respectful. You race with them on the track, they've got great driver etiquette already, all really good traits, and they're so young. So I see an awesome future for them, whether or that not be success, but I think they're going to really enjoy the sport and be a good asset to the hobby, good representatives. And then also I want to give a big shout out. I love what you guys all do. I think it's amazing. I think the RC Race Media crew deserve, and Mitch on the mic, deserve a whole lot of shout out and recognition for how much work you guys have been putting in and doing stuff like this, man, getting people keen, getting them involved. Like, I think it's unreal. I've got all the drive to be the happy guy behind the screen, but far out, mate. This is about 1% of what actually goes on to make this happen. So big props to you guys. Big props to Nick McMurtry. Yep. He's running a little channel called Instinct RC, and just having a crack, mate. Doing his best, helping with streaming, helping with media coverage, doing little photo shoots, and he came with me to do the four-wheel drive show. We recently did a four-wheel drive show with Tornado Tires.
All right, tell us about this show.
Cool. All right.
Tell us about it.
So Tony got me onto it, Tony Firth from RC Race Media.
To chime in here.
Yeah, chime in, Tony. Get involved, mate. He gave me a call and said, "Hey, Joel, I'm doing this four-wheel drive show thing. I've been approached by the Nitto Tires Australia crew. There's a little grappler ground that they set up, and it's essentially a come and try thing for people to just have a crack at RC. we're going to record times, but we're just going to record the fastest ones, the fastest times of the day, get a prize pack, fastest run of the weekend, gets a brand new set of Nitto tyres. So there's a bit on the line. It's good fun. See how you go. I'll get this bloke in touch with you. I get the call from Nitto. Hey, mate, how you going? Yep, this is the go. We'll set it up at the showgrounds in Adelaide. This is through the Four-Wheel Drive Adventure Show. And we went down there sort of just with the idea of what Tony had explained to me. So there's a little track. They provide everything. They've got cars. They landscape the area, the whole show. It's good to go. So we went down there the Friday. I was like, yep, this is cool. All right. On the Saturday, MC couldn't make it. He was doing a footy show or something like that. So I was like, I'll jump on the mic. Let's do that. It'll be good fun. And I just went ham. I just had the time of my life out there. I was yelling and screaming and jumping around and getting the whole crowd fired up. And there was so many people, man. Like the exposure to the hobby that we got from this fun little tyre show, it is tenfold on any race event I've ever been to. Like incredible. I would have seen, oh, mate, in Adelaide, probably 10,000, 15,000 new faces a day. And it was a 3-day event. In Perth, they flew me over Perth for the last event because they liked the MC commentary and rah-rah. So they paid for my flights, paid for my hotel, sent me over there, fed me and rah-rah. And that show, it was insane. The whole show was seeing over 100,000 foot traffic a day for 3 days straight. Yeah. And my lineup to get onto this track to do the RC stuff was never ending. You know, like, telling people that, oh, we're not going to be back on track for 45 minutes and they're starting to line up. Like, all right, we're getting in. It was absolutely unreal. It was super, super cool. And I'm very grateful. So thank you very much to Nitto Tyres for doing that. It's not something that's highlighting myself or highlighting Nitto Tyres. This is exposure to our sport. That's what it is. And it's a whole new demographic. It's people that are untouched. They're cashed up four-wheel drive hooligans. That's exactly who we're looking for. Get involved, have a crack.
Four-wheel drive hooligans. Hey, 2026, is this going to go around again, the Nitto Tyres project?
Yeah, mate. We are locked and loaded for 2026. So 3 rounds. They do 3 rounds. Sydney. So I'll go and see Tony and the PDNR crew, get them to help out, run a raffle, get some support for their club. Then we've got hometown for me in Adelaide. Will be in October. So sorry, Sydney in September, Adelaide in October, and then they'll fly me over to Perth in November to do that event again next year, which would be sick.
Unreal.
It'd be super sick. Yeah. And it's great support for our club as well. And we ran a raffle at our event. Thank you to Model Flight. They supplied us a cost price car, just a fun little crawler thing. We made, I think we ended up clearing about $1,600 after 3 days of raffle tickets, which I thought was unreal. And then Collie RC Club, Aaron Dexter got on board for that for the Perth show. We ran another raffle for them. And over the 3 days, because I was more equipped for this event, straight out the gates on the Friday, I was just on it, you know, calling out on the microphone, make sure you check out our raffle, make sure you support the club, make sure you do this, make sure you do that, you know, getting really like in people's faces in a fun, like happy way. And those boys made around $2,000, I reckon, which was fantastic.
That's good.
That's good. We can't wait to have you here, Joel. We made $300 at our one.
Did you? Oh, mate, don't worry. Lock it in. Get something to sell, mate. I'll sell it. I'll sell ice for the Eskimos.
Joel will vouch for this. Just the energy that you get from being part of that event. Like we had half a dozen club members for the 3 days. And it is just that. It's people who have heard of RC, never had a go, or you got people who have done it. It's a small little track. It's not hard. You turn down the power of the truck, so they just get around nice. And it is. They just line up. They can't get enough of it. It's so much fun. Our one was in like a content creator zone. So they had a whole bunch of, people with the YouTube channels and stuff like that. So you've got influencers who come and have a celebrity race, call it, right? So they get their own little bit of track time, and they've got all their media people filming that. They put it on their socials. So again, it's just massive promotion for RC that you just couldn't buy. And this is just volunteering, clubs volunteering their time to support Toyo Tyres and Nitto Tyres, who we have had a really great relationship through our club for many years. Our test drive trucks are actually the original version of this kind of activation they did, the old Traxxas truck. So,
Really?
So that they have done it before and it didn't quite work, and they played with the recipe a bit, and now they've got it bang on. And can't wait to do it next year. It's going to be great. So get involved, come down and check it out.
And,
man.
And if you set hot luck, you might win some tyres. That's what I heard.
Yeah, that's it.
Every RC race
tyres for the fastest lap of the weekend. Yeah, mate. It was going off. It was absolutely going off. And like Tony just said, like the influencers, that's where we're bang in the middle of. So it's these people that make a living off of YouTubing and being on social media and traveling and exploring. Like their following is just ballistic. I became friends with a couple of blokes from the sunny coast, TJ and Mac. Go and check them out, guys. TJ and Mac, they do Shed Life, they do No Wasted Weekends. Absolute champions, those guys. And that Perth show, they did a whole episode on their vlog about being at that show, and 3/4 of it is them having fun on an RRC track, telling people how much they love it, showing. And like these guys have got 80, 100, 120,000 subscribers on YouTube. Like, show me an RC content that reaches that much people. It's non-existent.
Well done to both of you and to Nido, and that. Fantastic. Hey, you know what I'm about to say. We're running out of time. We're going to go to some 8-scale off-road awards. I hate having to be the policeman and crack the whip. We're going to go to some 8-scale off-road awards. Same deal. We'll give the Racers' Choice Awards, the media team, and then Joel will come to you for your awards in these 3 categories. Tony, take it away.
Yep, sounding a bit like a broken record, I think. I've got a feeling we may all agree. But as you can see, the driver's choice for the event of the year for 8-scale off-road is a runaway winner. And it come as no surprise, it was ABC Pine Hills. So congratulations to Scotty and the team at Pine Hills for another cracker event.
Yeah.
Man.
Matt, media choice, where do we land here?
We'll kind of split, as has been the theme of the evening, between, Pine Hills ABC and also Bateman's Bay Nats. Pine Hills ABC regularly every year is the biggest 8-scale event in the country. But it's also one of the bigger clubs, whereas Bateman's Bay really punching above their weight. And I know we gave them an award, I think in our first year, for the effort they put into the
10-scale New South Wales
states, I believe.
Yeah.
But they went absolutely above and beyond that for the Nats this year, and it just absolutely sucks that they didn't get the proper finale that the event really deserved. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm tending to lean towards that one this year because they just knocked it out of the park. Brad's a good friend of mine. I know the amount of work he put in, and Maria and Tyrone and the other crew down there. Massive effort for a tiny regional club. So well done,
and
baby.
that boomerang feature. On the
boomerang through the middle. Great idea.
So sick.
Yeah. How about for you, Joel? Event of the year for you, Joel?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that one, mate. I think the Bateman's Bay Nationals was epic. It was really epic. I think coming into it, seeing the warm-up raw speed event before it, and then there was just so much controversy online. Do you remember that? It was like, what's it going to be like? What's the surface going to be like? Are you oiling it? Are you not oiling it? I feel for those guys, man. The poor committee just be getting flogged.
Getting flogged by it, yeah.
Oh, dude, the gremlins of the internet. And then we rock up, man, and it was sick. It was so sick. The track it wasn't gnarly, but it was still technical. It wasn't too hard that you couldn't drive it, but it kept you on your toes. I just thought it was mega. And then for that committee to pull off that many people being at their club, nailed it. Big shout out to all of those guys. And a huge shout out to the canteen ladies. I didn't thank the canteen ladies in my sportsman speech, and it's been eating me up ever since. Right.
Redemption right now.
Yeah, I'm getting my redemption back right now. So, Brad, Murray, if you're watching, legends. Thank you.
Well done. All right, let's go to Driver of the Year. We'll go back to you, Tony.
All right, Driver of the Year for 8-scale off-road. Standout performance again. It'll come as no surprise. It's Alex Bernardzik. Congratulations, Alex.
Yeah. Round of applause.
Yeah.
What's happened to our sound effect?
Applause, Tony. Where is it?
There we
go. One job.
2 jobs, but you're failing at one.
There's been a few. We've talked about some of these guys already, haven't we? That have put in good performances. Matt, where did we land with the media team award?
Same again. pretty predictable.
Yep, fair enough.
Split between Alex Benadzik and Christian Molitor.
Yeah.
How do you split those two? Well, I think given this
You go
year,
to Canberra. You go to Canberra in March.
Yeah.
yeah. Christian's drive at Philippine Masters, and his epic battle with Peiko.
Yeah.
I think that puts him just a nose ahead of Benadzik
Very
this
good.
year for us. So well done, Christian.
Very good. And Joel, for you, who's your driver of the year?
Oh, mate, I'm going to agree again. Yeah. Alex is a standout driver every time I watch him. And not only is his driving fantastic, I think Alex is probably the most respectful top driver that we're lucky to have. His etiquette is fantastic, man. Yeah, his etiquette's unbelievable. And I'm not saying that everybody else isn't, but that guy will throw away the lead to make sure that he redresses as suit, which I think is a really good role model. But Christian's drive at ABC and Christian's efforts this year, that guy is a robot in the mains. It blows my mind every time. He rarely gets this big TQ and fastest lap and rah, but when the gate drops, mate, the elbows are out. He is a weapon in mains. So his drive at ABC he got my vote.
Good. That leaves us with one award for the 8 Scale Off-Road category. That is our one to watch. Tony.
Yeah, 2 contenders in this one, but a lot of nominations. So congratulations to TJ Kripiri, the 2025 one to watch. Yeah, on a great trajectory and getting better every time we see him. And him and his dad do a great job, working hard, learning lots, and look forward to seeing what they can do next year.
Yeah, we look forward to that for sure. And that very special track they've got on under the shed at the farm. I'm still hanging out to get out there and have a go at it. Yes.
Yeah.
Matt, Media Team Award for the one to watch.
Yeah, well, we actually went different this time. I think we had TJ last year, didn't we?
I think we did.
As the one to watch, and Phoenix is always there in that conversation. We've gone. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joel, but were these 2 your sportsman buddies, Riley Lander West and Elliot Grierson?
Yeah, they were, dude.
That the 2 guys that you took down? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Well, they wanted it. They got it.
Yeah. Well, we think flip a coin between those 2, and you have your winner there. Both those young men are doing a fantastic job. I specifically see Riley a lot. And his dad Chris get around a lot of events around New South Wales. So personally, I'd go with Riley, but man, it's a hard split between those 2.
Yeah.
How about for you, Joel? Who's your one to watch?
Yeah, I one to watch always for me is Zach Foster. He's unreal. His pace is ballistic. His mains driving when he's not flustered and overwhelmed or just at a massive event, like the Zach that I see do mains here in Adelaide versus the Zach I see do mains at a ABC or at a Nationals, he's just developing. He's coming too, and when that confidence hits and strikes, he's going to be a top guy. There's no 2 ways about it. But my up and coming ones to watch are exactly the same. I think Elliot and Riley are animals. I think they're awesome. I really do. And they're polite. They're good, honest kids. And I just fully rate that, even without the success.
Yeah, fantastic. Joel Power, delightful to have you with us on the show tonight. I reckon we could easily go for another half hour just with you. Like I said, we'll have the Joel and Zach show next year.
Oh, mate, just let me know. I mean,
someone did pop in the comments earlier and said, I think it might have been one of the Beals said we should hook you up to co-commentator race with Scotty Ernst at ABC next year.
Bring it on, mate.
Maybe the over 45s final, something like that. Would be a bit of fun. Hey, just one quick question about 2026.
Yep.
Worlds year 2026 8 Scale Off-Road Worlds. That's surely the event of 2026 that we're looking forward to for you.
Yeah, I think so. I'll do my best to get over there. I've got a jam-packed year of traveling next year, which, first world problems. But I would love to get over there. I'm trying to link it up with my old man that we get over there and go watch a round of outdoor motocross or supercross.
Nice.
Through the AMA, because I couldn't go to America and miss out on that. But yeah, that event's going to be mega, man. And I would love to go over and see like Ryan and Walker. I met them at not this ABC, but the one before, and have stayed in touch with them. They're actually legends. I've got heaps of time for Walker. He's a funny guy. So I'd love to go and see them on home turf and hang out with the boys and do that. Definitely on the cards.
Beautiful. Hopefully we see you there, because we the three of us desperately want to go over there and be a part of that event if we can find a way.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
I'm just going to keep saying that over and over and over. I'm manifesting that to come true.
Yeah, beautiful. If you book heaps of luggage, I'll just curl up.
What could possibly go wrong?
Loudest luggage ever.
Yeah. Oh, classic.
Beautiful. Thank you, mate. We're going to let you go because we are miraculously only 8 minutes behind schedule at the moment.
Oh, look at that. Look,
it's
this
incredible.
is nothing like the track walk.
We could be in bed by midnight. It's fabulous. Thank you, Joel.
Awesome.
Mate, thank you for all that you do. And a huge congrats to you and to Tony and all the team that have been involved in that Nitty promotion. And we hope that goes awesome next year. And we look forward to seeing you at any racetrack we bump into you. Thanks, buddy.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate you having me on, and keep doing what you're doing. I think it's fantastic. You all deserve a big pat in the back. It's wicked. I've been watching all night, even the guys beforehand. It's been fantastic. So thank you, gentlemen, very much, and all the best. I'll see you soon.
Good on you, mate. Thank you. That's Joel Power.
There it is. There it is.
I knew you wanted it, Tony. I knew. Take care, legends.
Cheers, buddy.
See you,
That
Joel.
is Joel,
Cheers,
one of
mate.
the
All
absolute
right.
characters, one of the genuine good guys in the sport here in Australia and around the world, and delightful to see him over in Manila. If you didn't catch that coverage, we set him loose with a camera and sent him off into the pits to do one of the best pit walk segments that we filmed all year. So thanks, Joel, for hanging out with us.
He tried mango apple, or there was some local fruit delicacy that he tried live on camera. So yeah,
Or something like that.
only he could do that. Yeah.
What a guy. What a guy. Speaking of what a guy, that leaves us with one guest left. We've kind of wrapped up our Australian tour. Now we're going to take a wrap around the world. And who better to join us than our very good friend, the one and only Scotty Ernst. I saw Mr. Ernst pop in. There he is. Scotty, welcome.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you guys?
We're having a good time. And somehow we're not even that far behind time. 2.5 hours into the show.
It's wonderful, but
close.
I got to say this. I got to say this out of gate. It is not fair to put me after Joel. He's way too hard to follow. He's a legend and he's awesome. And yeah, just is there a guy more passionate about the hobby than him? He's the best.
No, there is not. He's fun and he's funny and he's genuine, heartfelt, like all the good things that you want in someone, mate. It's been a monster year for you. We want to do a bit of a kind of a what's happening on the world scene, but you know, without going, how many? What have you been? 30 weekends or something you've been away this year? But give us a couple of highlights of places you've been around the world in 2025.
Oh man, it's been an incredible year. For all of us, you guys have been at my side for many of them. The ABC was a tremendous success. Really rolling off that first year to the second year was tremendous, where it was just talk of the 8-scale world. Everywhere I go, people were asking about it, and sponsors are showing interest in the industry, really taking a look at it. And it's great for the region and 8-scale buggy for sure. Been a year with a couple great world championships and a Nitro on-road kind of thing. So that's been really good. So it's been good all the way around.
We had a long chat earlier in the evening about the 10-scale worlds, and I don't want to kind of rehash all of that, but you were there, you were a part of that. You got the unique opportunity to both be a part of covering and calling the event, but also to race in it and to race in it alongside your family. So just, reflect for me a moment about that World Championship experience for you.
It was epic on many levels. From our side as a media team, I think there has never been a better coverage of any RC event ever in the world. I say that proudly because, I know all the hard work that you guys have put in behind the scenes to make it happen. And then the race itself from the club there, it was just epic. So that was a great side. And then because of the kindness of Tony and Matt allowing me the chance to race, I got to do it. And I kind of feel bad that I didn't see it right away. And, I hit Tony up probably 2-3 months before. I said to Tony and Matt, I said, hey, man, my family's coming down. Can I get, some time out of the booth to do this? And it was great to be able to do that race with my daughter and my son-in-law. That was great. But to be able to get firsthand experience on the track and then bring that into the show, I thought was pretty priceless and something I've never had a chance to do. I've been blessed to commentate quite a few World Championship, but that was the first one I ever got to participate in as a hobbyist, and it was really cool. And I thought brought a great angle into our commentary.
Yeah, it was cool, and it meant that I got to go in the commentary booth while you were out racing. So it was win-win-win, right? I got to comment on World Championship for a little bit. I want to think a little bit about a few of the things that have been happening around the world this year and get your perspective on them. I'm thinking about the first ever 8th scale e-buggy World Championship. So that's been a numerically really strong category in our sport, and it's certainly at club level. Many parts of Australia, it's much bigger than Nitro, but that's the first time we got to do a World Championship for that. What did you make of that e-buggy Worlds?
I was really happy for the industry that it really got legs and really became such a spectacle for e-buggy. If you rewind even 6 months before the Worlds, there was a lot of people talking like they're not going, and then 2.5, maybe 2 months before, it really got some traction and everybody's like, okay, we're going to this. And then as the race happened, it was epic on all levels. Great club, great facility, and spectacular racing. So it was really good for that segment to really have its marquee spotlight event.
What did you, I guess I'm interested in what you make of what happened on the track. We had, people who are more known for 10 scale in the form of Marcus Kerup and Mikola Olofsky going head to head with, the 8 scale legends, the names like Davide Ongaro, Elliot Boots was really fast, David Ronnefalk, Juan Carlos Canas. So we had this really interesting kind of crossover where these two worlds kind of collided. What do you make of it from that perspective?
I think it was great for the 10 scale guys to be able to go to a different, let's say discipline, and going to 8 scale and really showing that their skills from 10 scale pan out and work well over there. And they could run with the best guys in the 8 scale with Ongaro and them guys, which 8 scale is their forte. And then Kerup and, Orlowski and these guys running toe to toe with them. I thought it was really good. And it made me think back to in the early years of 200 millimeter, this guy named Paul Lemieux, electric touring car race from America, showed up, went to Portugal for the 200 millimeter Worlds. Nobody had ever heard of him. And barring a problem at the halfway point, just had laps on the guys. And it was his 10 scale electric touring that that was his skill. And he went to this totally different Nitro thing and really showed him that, he could do it. So I kind of equate those two together, but Kerup able to make it happen. Just a great thing. His first World Championship, and it was a spectacular race.
You've known the Kerup kind of family. Tell me a little bit about that. Jonas, his dad, and what it meant to them to win here, but then also to come down to Sydney and win a second World Championship in the space of 2 months.
It was a great story. I mean, if Jonas passionate about it, has just been when he in his heyday, one of the top electric touring car racers back in the day. And obviously we all pass this on, our passion, to our children, and then to watch Kerup come up, or Marcus rather, just really come to his stride the last 3 years. I remember my first couple of years that I saw him, he would come to EOS, or I'd see him at some of the Euros and stuff like that. Super aggressive, still trying to tone his racecraft. He had the outright speed and everything like that, but just missing that small little craft where he would be too aggressive time, not knowing that you don't have to drive 110%, 90% sometimes is okay. And here over the last year, he's figured that out. Obviously won his first title, and then to be able to do two of them to get his second in the 10 scale discipline that he normally is familiar with was pretty special. I mean, then you go to the woulda, shoulda, coulda, because he almost had them both down in Sydney, but it was just a great year for him. And we talked about it on the show, Mitch and I and Scott, about him coming to the Worlds in Australia, having the confidence of getting his first World Championship, and then is able to pull it together and get a second one, which was pretty impressive.
I think it was early in that week in Sydney that I spoke with Atsushi Hara, and he talked about looking at Marcus and seeing a driver with a winning face, by which Hara, was kind of talking about that confidence that you just spoke about, that, you can look at someone and see, this guy knows. He knows that he can do this. We're watching there on screen in the four-wheel drive finals there, that incredible head-to-head battle between he and Davide Ongaro, and I can't help thinking we're going to see these two guys go at it pretty hard over the next few years, Scotty.
Oh, absolutely. I think, getting these titles for Marcus is just going to drive him to want more, to do as many disciplines as he can. For sure, it's going to make him want to put in the time to do it, to be able to stay at that pinnacle level and to run these guys. And then, with the Nitro Worlds coming up, for sure he's going to be all in for that. And it's really going to be good to see him. And then, Ongaro he's not an old veteran. He's a
like 24 or something, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So, he's three-time, back to back to back. So it's really going to be interesting to see them guys go at it when they go to the Worlds in Thornhill, Texas, on a not a normal 8-scale off-road American track. It's going to be very interesting.
We have to be there. we have to be there for that race.
Sure. I know what you're talking about, guys. We've talked about it.
So let's just talk about that. We'll come back. I want to talk about the on-road IC Worlds, the 8-scale Worlds we've just seen in Chile. We'll come back to that. But while we're on this, on this topic of what is the road to the World Championships in 2026 from an 8-scale off-road perspective, you just talked there about Carrot, about Ongaro, but this is on home soil in America as well. We've got people like, I guess Ryan Mayfield, is this maybe his last best chance to win an 8-scale Worlds? Dakota Fenn yet to win a World Championship. What does the next 8-10 months hold, do you think, in terms of the road to that event?
The race calendar is so busy for those guys in 8-scale with all the races that are going on. But I think especially those two guys that you talked about, they are absolutely primed to be able to have a chance for a world title. It's the two guys that you would think, would be right there in them. And I know they're going to put the work in. I'm sure there's going to be multiple test sessions that they go down to Thornhill. Thornhill is a beautiful facility, covered racetrack. It's going to make for a great Worlds, but gives a pretty consistent throughout the course of the year to give these guys some testing to be able to do it. And it's going to be, I don't know, I think it's going to be one of the best Worlds because, 8-scale in America is massive. Everybody talked about from the outsiders outside of Europe or Asia or Australia, wherever, they all want to come to America and do it. And I think it's going to just be the perfect storm for one of the greatest World Championships ever.
And the last time we were in the US for a World Championships, 2016, Vegas, David Ronnefalk wins. That's right. I'm remembering that right, aren't I?
I got nothing.
I think that's the last
Technology,
time.
right? You got to love it. I don't know if you can hear me, but I got nothing.
I can hear you,
Gotta love
Scotty. I'm just going to mute Scotty for a minute. We'll see if we can get his microphone working again. I'll just try you one more time. Scotty, can you hear anything at the moment?
You got me? Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes.
You got me? I can't hear you. Of course not.
Of course not. We can hear you just fine.
I just keep rambling there.
Yeah.
I'll just guess what you're saying. But I got nothing. Nothing here. Let me see if I turn these off. I don't know if let's see what.
We got almost all the way through the night, folks, with no trouble. I'm just going to mute Scotty for a minute. We'll maybe see if we can bring him out of the show and then get him to rejoin and see. So I'll let Tony just kind of deal with that in the background while we get away. So yeah, we're talking there about the road to what I think is the race meeting of the year next year, the 8-Scale Off-Road Worlds in the US. Some of those veteran or more experienced American drivers, but also some of the young emerging kind of super fast American talent. But then, drivers from all around the world who'll be over there in the US. We're going to try and get Scotty back on. So we'll, looks like he's back working and able to hear things. So we'll get him back in the studio. We'll just unmute his microphone. There we go.
Talk to me, Goose.
Talk to me, Goose. Can you hear me now?
I got you. Good deal.
All right. Now we've got
technology
going on. At least I can hear an echo. Scotty, I'm going to let you talking. Tell me about 8-Scale on-road worlds in Chile, the GT and the from your perspective. They weren't quite as well supported as they could have been, but good races. You tell us.
Yeah, it was disappointing for the club and everything to be battling the stigmatism of not going to South America for that. If anybody's seen the videos that were put out before the event, Thilo Diekman went there and posted a great video of this absolutely amazing facility. I think Anthony talked about earlier in the show about it was just this mega facility, boat pond, racetrack, flying field, the whole shoot match, and it was awesome. And it ended up, for the people that went there, it was a fantastic world championship. Really, a couple guys were really in the mix, and it made for just a really good race, much like they had at the GT. It was a great experience for the people that went there. I know for me, I surely would have went there. Unfortunately, I had a big race in America though during that time that I couldn't go. Otherwise, I'd love to have gone down there and race another world championship. My new favorite class, the 8-Scale on-road.
Cool to see Shoki Takahata take the win there in the 8-Scale. That's his second championship, isn't it, in that category?
It is, yeah. Second time he's won that, and it was great. And it was a barn burner of a race. They all kind of, numerous guys experienced problems in it, and it was close. And then that final stint there, Kurzberg, Katazani, and Gruber, I think it was just under 2 seconds was the difference between those guys for second, third, and fourth. It was a stunning race there to the end.
You love a little bit of 8-Scale on road, don't you? It's a category that you enjoy doing and watching, right?
I do. It's been a blast. So much fun since I picked it up here a couple years ago, and it's 12 scales always been my passion. And this is just, these are just bigger 12 scales and just so much fun. They're really, really great. Love it.
We're continuing to have a little bit of technical issues here with some echoes coming through, so we'll just juggle here as best we can. But Scotty, I want, speaking of 12 scale, let me ask you about the worlds that are coming up in 2026. We're going to be over in China. We've just seen some warm-ups there in the last little bit as we get some footage on screen now from those 8-Scale worlds. But tell me about, what you're looking forward to about this touring car worlds in China and the 12-Scale worlds, which feels to me like might be one of the best 12-Scale worlds we've had in quite a while. What are you looking forward to there as we head towards China?
With you completely, Scott. I think it's well documented, this amazing facility that they have in China, and it's going to make for I think a fantastic world championship. 12 scale has kind of been up and down the last couple of years with not massive turnouts and things like that. But I think being over in Asia, I think you're going to get a really good turnout, strong from the Asian communities, from the Japanese drivers, China and Hong Kong. I think are going to make a good showing. All the top Americans are planning on going, and they obviously have a facility that can really, really make it happen. Social media comments from Jan and from Mikhail and the guys that are over there right now, but they're testing over there. But over the last couple of weeks, has been all positive. So I think it's going to be something really special.
What else are you looking forward to in 2026? Where in terms of your own race series that you're involved in, Asian Buggy Champs, Refires, Asian On Road, will be back in Korea, but also the Euro Touring Series and Euro Off-Road Series. Tell us a little bit about, what else you're looking forward to next year.
Sorry, Scott, I lost the first part of your statement. Could you say that again, please?
Yeah, just wondering if you can give us a bit of a tour through what else you've got happening next year and what you're most looking forward to outside of those Worlds events we've already talked about. What else is on your radar?
We have our ABC series. That's going to be really exciting. I was at this weekend. I went to Malaysia for their international buggy party and got a firsthand look at Lap Paradise. And wow, what a facility that is! They've been David and Ken, the kind of guys in charge of that facility, have been talking to me for many years. They're really keen to have us bring the series there, and they've made a ton of improvements. And this place is first class. They've done it all, and it was really, really nice. Great experience to go be there, see it firsthand, help them run the races and stuff like that. And it's going to make a cool new venue for ABC series. You guys were talking about running in the rain. Rain has not been our best friend in 2025, but there in the Truckee, man, it started coming down. And I was announcing it. I talked to Dave. I says, "What do you want to do?" I mean, it was a downpour. They have paid marshals, and they have the infield areas much safer than if we compare it to like Philippines and stuff like that. It was pretty flat and things like that. So the trucks were they had enough traction going around, and David told me we're going to keep them going. And it made for a great race. Joel mentioned about the rain when you guys had at the Nationals or whatever track he was talking about. Some guys coming through the field that, taking advantage, the Ayrton Sennas of the off-road world, where the rain was their forte. And it rained for about 10 minutes, rooster tails coming off the tires, but they had enough traction to get around, make all the obstacles through the track. So it really made it very interesting. So we had a 45-minute final of dry, rain, wet, then dry at the end. It made for a great race. So that's going to be a cool addition to our race series in April. We're going to kick it off in New Zealand. We always have a great time there. Shane and the guys at County just do a top level job there. We love going there all the time, and looking forward to kicking off another great year. And everybody talks about it. The ABC this year is going to be big. And then I get to do a couple other big races around the world. Our ETS series is rolling well. EOS is kind of getting a second lease on life, if you will. We're going to be able to make a return to the Hootie Arena. So we're going back to the Hootie Arena this year, which we haven't been there for a few years. So got a busy year planned ahead.
There's a question there from Nick Lewis. Scotty, I don't know if you can see it on the screen, wondering if ABC might go 5 rounds in 2027 with the hoped for return of the Philippine Masters. What do you think? What do you think about that? Lost him again. Having some audio troubles here, folks. Got me back?
Yeah, I got you.
Tell me, Scotty, about the return of the Neo race over in England at Easter time. That's been a pretty special race over the years.
Oh, it's been legendary in a world of indoor 8 scales from when Phil ran it for many, many years. And it started at this venue on the dockside in Belgium back in the day when it was so cold. And Adam Drake and Jared Tebow, they were like dominant for many years, and then it went up to Harper Adams, and it just took on a life of its own. I know for me, I took my daughter Sarah Ann there for her 18th birthday. We did London, and we went to Harper Adams, and we went racing there. That was her big 18th birthday trip. We went there, and it was awesome facility, awesome race, really, really unique, and it's really cool that they're getting it going again, and they got the blessings to do it. Unfortunately, it's going to clash with a couple, other events going on at the same time. But as we all know, the race calendar right now is just there's not enough weeks in the year for all the races that are going on. But it's going to be really cool to have the Neo going again.
That is, along with the 8 Scale Worlds, I think that Neo race is the other race that I would put on my bucket list of, I want to be at that race. spent so many years watching and enjoying the coverage from that race. And Jared Tebow dominated so many times and all of that. So it's a fabulous race, something to look forward to. But it's, as you say, same weekend as Touring Car Worlds in China, and I think there's maybe PNB in the US is around that same time this year. So a couple of unfortunate clashes. We'll have to just have 3 screens going so we can watch everything from all around the world. Scotty, I think maybe we do a couple of awards here. Hey, this is something we do every year, and I think last time we got you on, I put you on the spot. I'm going to do the same thing again. We're going to get Tony and Matt back in. We're going to give our Racer's Choice Award for the International Driver of the Year. Then we've had a bit of a chat about that ourselves, and then we're going to put you on the spot, Scotty, to give us your Racer of the Year. But we'll start with the Racer's Choice Awards with Tony.
Yeah, lots of votes are coming in, so thanks to everyone again for getting involved. It was pretty close at the top.
What do you got, Tony?
A runaway pair. All right, let me find the button. Marcus Carrop, taking that Driver of the Year.
Oh, I hear you, Scott, but I lost Tony.
So we've got Marcus Carrop, the International Driver of the Year. I do feel like I need to just observe that the person next to Marcus Carrop should not be in this poll. And I'm not talking about Brock Champlin. I have no idea who did that. Whoever is responsible for that, hang your head in shame.
Disagree.
I like that.
I didn't even. Did I drive out of Australia? Yes, I did. I did a couple of laps in New Zealand. That's right. Yeah. So that's the Racer's Choice. Matt, where do we land in terms of the media award here for Driver of the Year?
We're pretty close to the racers' votes here. We had Carrop and Champlin and Bruno as well, but surely it's got to come down to
Scott. I can't hear him if you can.
With their wins over here at the Worlds, but you'd have to give it to Marcus on the back of his EP8 World Championship as well. So well done, Marcus. He's had a sensational year.
So that's the media award going also to Marcus Carrop. We're continuing to have some little weird tech and audio issues with Scotty, but I'm going to throw back to you, Scotty, for your International Driver of the Year. Who do you think is the standout driver in 2025?
Boy, I hate to sound like a broken record, but, Carrop to win 2 world titles this year in 2 different disciplines, that says a lot. I mean, he's definitely found his stride. He found his confidence. And you just have to be so impressed with the young man. So, Marcus is my vote also, because just an absolutely impressive year for him.
Now, nobody's going to remember this because it's 10 months away, but I also want to know from you, who's your kind of outside smoky, if you like, the unexpected winner that we could keep an eye on as we head towards that 8-scale Worlds? Who do you, I mean, obviously, the big half a dozen names we know, but who's the one that maybe might come out and spring a surprise and win the Worlds next year?
Boy, that's such a tough one. Carrop, I think if he can get his nitro side of his, the engine program and everything locked down, the Associated boys are going to be fine with the cars and things like that. I think the confidence that he has is going to be just, if he can get the nitro side of his program down. I would love to see Davide do 4 in a row. That would be, untouchable. Absolutely. I mean, so there's that side of it. But then, part of me wants to see Mayfield get one. I absolutely want to see Dakota Fend. He has been at the pinnacle of 8-scale for so long, so many battles on American soil that he's had with Mayfield and all the guys. I would love to see Dakota, get one too. So that being said, I think there's a lot of the Europeans that are going to come here and on this surface and things like that, not being the big blown out American surface. I think it's, like you said, there's going to be 20 guys that have a chance at it.
It's going to be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Hey, 2 questions that have come in while we've been chatting relate to plans next year for the Asian On-Road Championship Series, and also whether there's a return for the Asian Nitro Championship Series, a couple of your series. Where are we up to with both of those series or possibilities for next year?
The electric, the AOC, we've done it every year in Korea. We're going to be back in Korea in October. Mr. Kim has a beautiful, beautiful track there in Seoul that is just one of the nicest you've ever been to. We had a great event there this year, so we're going back there in October. I'm trying to put some pieces of the puzzle together to try to get a couple more race series going here in 2026. It's just difficult to get all the pieces together, but I really want to do that. The nitro side of it, we had a great time there for a couple years, filling for the 10 scale nitro, and here's a great shot of GRC Raceway. Just a spectacular facility. Trying to get the on-road nitro one going again, it would be great. There's a couple tracks that definitely want to do it, but unfortunately the following for nitro is not as big as the electric, so trying to again put all those pieces together, make it a true challenge. But for sure we're doing an AOC in Korea this year, and possibly one or two other ones trying to make it happen.
That facility in Korea was mind-blowing. When I fortunate enough to go with you last year to the Asian On-Road Champs, and I know Tony and Matt were over there the year before, and it's so clean, you could eat off the floor. That little indoor track's amazing. The outdoor track's phenomenal. Yeah, what a facility, what a world we live in where we have places like that, and GDC and Hoodie Arena and the tracks in Chile. I mean, there's facilities around the world that are incredible. Scotty, we're continuing to have trouble with audio where you and Tony and Matt can't hear each other. So I think we've probably battled that one for long enough, and I think we're going to let you go and we're going to wrap up the show here. But just want to say to you again, thank you so much for being not only on the show tonight, but a part of so many of the great races around the world this year. Any last thoughts from you on kind of where we're at in 2025 or where we're headed in the next 12 months?
I think the RC industry is doing well. Racing wise on a global scale, I think it's going to be a great year in 2026 with all the big races in Europe and in America and Asia. I think there's going to be lots to talk about. You guys together, we partnered to bring a lot of great coverage to all events that we've been able to be part of. And I think as technology continues to advance, we'll be able to bring our love for RC to more and more people around the world. And it's been a great 2025. And I think 2026 is going to be even better. I look forward to what the world has in store for us.
Thank you so much, mate. Thanks for being with us tonight. Every blessing to you and your family over the next couple of weeks of Christmas. I think you told me that your travel's done for the year. You're going to be able to kind of rest for a couple of weeks and just be at home. What a privilege. So blessings for you for Christmas.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm going to be at home, spend some quality time with my brother, and relax, downshift for a couple of weeks, and then back at it come January 1.
And we'll see you in New Zealand in February. Can't wait for that one. Thank you, mate. Thanks for being with us. We'll let you go.
All right. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you.
That's Scotty Ernst, who's been helping us on a bit of a tour around the world over the last half an hour or so. Certainly someone who knows what's going on around the place. Tony, Matt, we've been abandoned by Mitch. We've made it to the end of the show. I think we are pretty much on time. So let me check in with both of you and see if there's anything we've missed. Is there anything else we should talk about tonight? And where are we up to? Anything else?
No, at the risk of trying to drag it on for another hour so that we can crack the 4-hour mark again. No, great job as always, Scott. It's it's amazing to be part of this media journey with yourself and Matt and the whole crew. So much fun, and it's great to hear everyone enjoying RC, and look forward to a big year next year.
Mate, tell me a couple of things about what you're looking forward to in 2026. What's on, things that you get to race a couple of things, races we'll cover. Give me a couple of things you're looking forward to next year.
That's pretty much the same as this year without a Worlds. So I think that was a big focus in the back of our minds for the last year. So taking all of that experience and momentum into next year. We've got not too many events, but a nice number of events that we'll be able to cover. And then racing, I'm still hooked on front wheel drive locally at PDNR. So I'll be banging doors with Chris Stanley every Tuesday night and keeping RC fun.
I do love tuning in whenever I'm around on a Tuesday night just to see what's happening down at PDNR. It's always always a good time.
Well, actually, throw to Matt. He might be coming to PDNR too. There's a bit of a movement for a sprint car on the asphalt. We've been converting the track into an asphalt oval and running a few of the Lossy sprint cars. And I hear someone may have bought himself one for his birthday. Is that right, Matt?
What's going on, Matt? Tell us a story.
Goes back to March this year where it was my brother Peter's birthday, and I got a few people together. We chipped in and got him one of the Lossy sprint cars as soon as it dropped, because he and I have a lot of history with Speedway, and Speedway runs in the family. We grew up racing Speedway karts, so we go out to watch them every now and then, and just loved them. So got him one, and then my birthday rolled around last month, and he's returned the favor. So there's going to be 2 of them in the family when the next shipment comes in. And yeah, we sort of have plans already. I couldn't get the coloured one that I want, so I've been talking to Chris Stanley, Mr. Mob Boss, about getting a custom livery made up, and I won't say what yet, but it's got something to do with not so much Perkins, but that sort of livery. If anyone knows Aussie Speedway from the 90s.
Okay.
So there's a good chance we'll be taking over PDNR and having some fun with that out there.
Yeah, nice. What else are you looking forward to in 2026, Matt? Apart from hot lapping sprint cars on a bitumen track.
Does it beat that? Does it get any better than that? Actually, I had a little bit of fun on the weekend. If you don't know, my partner Bowie has a property a fairway up the coast from Sydney, and I took my old 8-scale Armour Creighton Truggy up there over the weekend and got it out for about the first time in about 4 or 5 years, and gave it some love and had an absolute blast splashing around the paddock up there. So I think I want to do a bit more bashing, actually.
Did you do some sick whips, Matt? Did you do some sick whips?
No, need some jumps up there. There wasn't anything. There's only one small jump. Plenty of crashes, and trying not to run the dog over. But that's sort of where I started off before I started all the racing stuff. So I think I want to do a bit more of that. And I did manage to get back out on track last month as well.
Yeah, you talked about
Southern
that.
Highlands. Yeah, and I really enjoyed racing on the Astro. It's becoming a bit of a thing for the Sydney crew that everyone seems to be enjoying the Astro. So wouldn't mind getting the 10-scale buggies out a bit more, but honestly do not want to do it at an event we're doing media at, because I've done that a couple of times and it sucks. Try to do everything. But something like I said before, something might come out for Vintage Bash next year if I can get my hands on the car I want. So maybe a little burn down there as well.
That'd be good to see.
I'm seeing teasers of on-road Vintage Bash too, just getting people excited. So
been a bit of discussion. There was a heritage class run at Bayside a couple of weeks ago, pre-2006 cars and body shells, and Silvercan 540 motors, I think. There's a race at Geelong, I think, coming up. Is it Geelong that's coming up where they're running an
TFTR.
TFTR. Yeah, TFTR. That's right, at the Masters in January.
Yeah, right.
They're talking about running a heritage class. And then the Vintage Bash on-road Facebook community has started to assemble. So it'd be interesting to see. What that all looks like. I'll have to find a Schumacher MI3 or something like that to work out what the cutoff is. Yeah.
What about yourself, Scott? What are you most looking forward to in 2026?
I've been sucked back into 10-scale off-road racing, so I'm looking forward to. I've had one kind of clubby with a car that I've been building and reviewing, and really enjoyed that. And so I'm going to try and get to Chargers, my local 10-scale club, and do a bit of running. I may be able to get to the Queensland Champs and have a race at that, which would be my first state champs race in a few years. And I think even the Queensland 8-scale champs might be up in Toowoomba, and I might be able to make it to that one as well. So hopefully get on track a little bit. And then otherwise, all the places we go. Really looking forward to going to Malaysia in April to Lap Paradise for that one. that race. That place looks pretty epic, and I think that'll be, whilst we all are very sad not to have Philippine Masters in the schedule for this year while they build a new track, that Lap Paradise facility in Malaysia looks pretty cool. So
it's like it's going to be a good replacement for this year at least.
Yeah, good event.
I'm actually very much looking forward to going to Korea again, doing AOC in Korea if that happens. Unfortunately, didn't end up doing the stream this year. You were lucky enough to go, but we went last year, but it wasn't quite finished yet. So we could see it was pretty close, see the potential of the joint, but to go back and see it in full flight and just experience Seoul again would be awesome. Absolutely loved it last time. So
my first ever experience of Korean barbecue at a well, it's not Korean barbecue in Korea, it's just barbecue.
It's just regular barbecue. Did you have the bulgogi?
Yes, we had it all. I'm sure we had every single thing. We had so much food.
Yep.
Gentlemen, I think it's probably time. It's 10 p.m. here in Brisbane, which means it's 11 p.m. there in Sydney and Melbourne. And I reckon that's probably enough. So to both of you, thank you. And to Mitch on the mic, who soldiered on despite his 3 a.m. wake up for tomorrow morning. Thanks to you guys for helping us. And especially big thanks to all our guests. Let me just go back and kind of run through them one last time. We're really privileged to have people join us to share some of their own stories and to talk us through the year. So Ari Barkla, Peter Cooper, Chris Mitchell, Anthony Wasson was with us, Joel Power, and of course, Scotty Yates. Big thanks to all of those. And we go right back to where we were at the start, which is a big thank you to all of you who've shared your stories with us over the year, who've helped to put together the events that we've been able to be at and those we've watched from a distance. So all of the clubs, the volunteers, the industry, the community of RC. It's been a fabulous 2025. Of course, the highlight being that World Championship event, something none of us will ever forget, I don't reckon, and something pretty special. We look forward to all that 2026 holds. For now, though, from Matt and Tony and Mitch and I want to wish you and your families all the best for Christmas. Have a happy New Year. Get those Christmas presents out from under the tree and get those new cars built and go racing next year. From me, from us, that'll do. Thanks for being with us tonight. Every blessing to you and your families. Good night.
All right, we are live here trackside, ladies and gentlemen. And we are off and rolling A-Main number 2 here at the 2025 IFMAR Two-Wheel Drive World Championships presented by Team Coyote.
Brock Champlin, champion of the world.
Yes, thank you.
Mark trying to bring it home now. The inside line. Mark will take the win and the overall.
My wife, my family, and I have some glasses there.
They hit the line